trust the open and what's inside. When the moon is high, it's time to fly. Open your mind, let it all unwind. Let's get disengaged, time to engage. Turn another page, free from your cage. Get disenraged. When you feel like you've had enough and the week was busy and tough, you need a break, you need some fun. You need to take time from the run. We'll blow your mind. We're just in time. Seek and ye shall find. Time to unwind. Let's get disenraged. Time to engage. Turn another page, free from your cage. Get disenraged. Aliens, ghosts, spirits and shadows, spirituality, ultra reality, the Bible, the pagans, all the conspiracies, tarot, astrology, and alternate history. Open your heart to other possibilities and get disenraged. Time to engage. Turn another page, free from your cage. Get disenraged, 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 disenraged.
I forgot to take the overlay thing down, Jennifer. I forgot. Hi guys. Hi.
Hello.
Welcome to Disenrage. How's it going, Jennifer?
It's good. It's good. It's good. It's good.
Man, I was answering a comment on my channel because I posted this open letter thing to Brett Weinstein. I don't know if you saw
I
this.
watched your stream last night after you. Well, I watched it after you were done. Yeah.
So I clipped the part where I was like, I'm going to write an open letter to Brett Weinstein. And I just made a clip of that. And I actually did write a letter to him that's on my Substack that has all the evidence. We're not going to get into like drama and stuff, but it has like all the evidence of like everything. And it's like, here's who I am, Brett. Here are links to my work. Here is all the bullshit James has put me through. Would you like to see actual evidence about the far left? I felt like, I did it at 2 a.m. and I wasn't going to spend a lot of time doing something like this because I don't think Brett Weinstein's actually going to respond, and so it's kind of like I'm not gonna spend a ton of time doing it. But I've been getting the comments on my channel from people who are watching like the video, and some of them are new to the channel, and they're like, Karlyn, I'm new here and I've never heard of you. Can you provide evidence for your claims? And I was like, literally, click the fucking link, retard. Like. He's like, are you really who you say you are? Do you have any proof of you? I'm like.
The instructions are as follow. Click the fucking link or get stuffed.
I put the link in the description and I put it as a pinned comment at the top of the video. Do you have any sources where we can verify? Like, no, there are. I just made all of it up. There are no sources to verify. How about you search the other videos on the channel for James Lindsay? How about you do any research at all?
Well, either they're just being really stupid or playing stupid, or they're trolling. Because I mean, whenever I want to learn about something, something that's in a video content, to look in the info, hit the more thing, it drops down. There's all the shit in there.
Yeah, it's like, are you actually interested in learning, or are you just being it's like someone the other day on Twitter, they were like, I was talking to this guy, Adam Green, who looks like a Viking and is awesome. And you know who Adam is, right?
I do.
And so someone was replying to on Twitter to Adam saying, don't talk to her. She's an evil narcissist. Me. And so of course I responded to them. I was like, oh yeah, she sounds like quite a bitch or something like that. Like, I don't even know. Like, and so then she started responding with like, well, what about this pedophile? What about this predator? Have you ever addressed this? I was like, no, I've never addressed it's never happened. It's not, I have not done countless videos about this. I haven't written about this. I've never tweeted about this. It is literally never happened that I've addressed this publicly before. You got me. Yep, that's exactly right.
Not even hundreds of thousands of words written on your Substack.
Yeah, it's not like I made an entire fucking Substack just to dedicate to this one issue called Surviving Carrie Smith. It's survivingcarriesmith.substack.com. You can find all the information there. Like, I have never taught. I just completely pretend. I was like, oh, what's going on?
I just like saying stuff, pretend to be human, derp.
It's like, and even when you tell them that, they still don't. They're like, oh yeah, I bet you've never even. You're showing your true colors now. I'm like, yeah, okay.
I cannot believe that at this point in technology, people are still acting like they can't search for things or look stuff up or click that link. It'll take you right where you want to go. We've had these things for like what, almost 20 years.
Jennifer, I have been on the internet. Right now? I have been on the internet since I was 15 years old.
Wow.
Like, what the fuck?
Well, I mean, you're only 29, so that wasn't that long ago.
That's true. It was basically yesterday because I'm only 29. Yeah, that's absolutely true. Time is real because Jennifer is looking great. Jennifer is looking great tonight. Look at this sassy look. You've got the bra strap showing. Jennifer. See, Jennifer wears a bra. I do not wear a bra. So I
don't know if this actually qualifies as support. It's more like a glorified.
It's for show.
Yeah, it's just to keep things from. Keep things in place.
It's for show. All right. Oh man, but what a crazy week it's been. We went from world peace to World War III to world peace to World War IV again within half an hour. I gotta show you the clip. Go ahead.
This is why I'm moving to the country, Karlyn, because I don't have a whole lot of confidence in what's going on right now. And I don't think Colorado is a safe place to be.
Oh no, Colorado's definitely not a safe place to be at all. But like, I loved it because I was like, it was like the best day in the world to identify all the shill influencers on Twitter because all of them were saying basically the same thing. They're like, we won, Trump got world peace, Trump's gonna get a Nobel Peace Prize, everyone go home. Iran and Israel are definitely going to abide by this ceasefire. Trump is the greatest president in history, and they did this victory lap where they were like, you all doubted Trump, and now you have to pay for doubting Trump. And then like half an hour later,
what was that? What's that French guy? 12 hours later.
Yeah, it wasn't even though, because I went to bed around 4 a.m. last night and I woke up at like 9 a.m. and I have the first thing I see is this video of Trump going, fuck Israel, fuck it. Dude,
I love the F-bomb moment. I was tired. I'm like, yes, this is why we like you.
Oh, it was so great. And it's like, obviously I don't want war. Obviously, like, I think we all would have preferred if the ceasefire would have held, but I think most of us who are hinged into reality knew that. I don't mean to make this a news show, but this is just interesting. I think most of us knew that wasn't going to happen because we live in the world and we've seen this happen before. And so it's like, but it fell apart so quickly. Trump had his mission accomplished moment, except it was even better because he posted that he was the arbiter of world peace. And then within 12 hours, the whole thing is fallen apart. Like, I was old enough to remember the mission accomplished moment on the battleship with W, and now we repeated it. And you know what, Jennifer, there was a reenactment today of Trump's conversation with Netanyahu that I think you might be very interested in. I think you'll appreciate this reenactment very much.
That way I have a
hang on.
Don't listen to people because of your fucking shit. You better get your own fucking army, pal. I'm what counts out here. You know, I get calls from back home every fucking day. They think you went batshit. You wanted to go on TV.
Yeah, I did want to go on TV. That way I have a forum. I can fight back. I'm known. People see me. They know they can't fuck around with me like they could if I was an unknown. That's right.
Get this through your head, you Jew motherfucker, you. You only exist out here because of me. That's the only reason. Personally, every fucking wise guy still around, I'll take a piece of your fucking Jew ass. Your fucking warrant don't ever go over my fucking head again, you motherfucker, you. listen to people because
So that is the reenactment of the Trump Netanyahu meeting from earlier today. I think
That's
it's probably pretty
Casino,
accurate.
is it? Isn't that from Casino?
Yeah, I
Is that
think
it?
so. Yeah.
That movie is fucking brutal. Joe Pesci gets hit by several baseball bats and turned into a hamburger there.
Well, that should probably be a lesson for Trump because I think Trump pissed off Israel something fierce today.
Dude, I totally forgot about some of that language too. Damn. But yeah, it's whoever put that together is not entirely wrong. Bless. Oh my god, with love. I have so much bad karma right now for laughing at that. Oh my god.
It's not funny because we are talking about possibly a world war and Armageddon and all. If you believe Adam Green thinks we're ushering in Armageddon in the end times and all that stuff, and the Jews are going to burn a cow in Israel after this, and then it's really all over. And so
did they find the red heifer?
Oh, they have the red heifers.
Yeah, they have the red heifers, and then we've got like the last pope is in office. Like everything is lining up.
Yeah,
for all the stuff. For all
it's the end times. So it's not funny. You know, we may all die in an apocalypse. According to the Jews, 2/3 of people in the world are going to die, and so that kind of sucks. But it is also kind of funny that it just failed spectacularly, and so we have to take what we can get, right?
I think always looking on the bright side and finding where the humor is a very healthy thing to do.
Yeah,
for sure.
All right. Well, on that note, we're going to talk about Dr. Joe Dispenza tonight because it is a Karlyn topic night. Yeah. And I'm very excited about this. I actually haven't, I used to interact with Dr. Joe's content a lot, like a lot to the point where it was a lot. Okay. It was a lot. I was one of those people. But Jennifer, what do you know about Dr. Joe Dispenza?
Not a lot. Let me try that in English. His content has crossed my path many times. I've never tuned in and went, ooh, a new guru, but I have enjoyed what I've heard. I saw about an hour, about an hour of one of his energy center manifestation kind of lectures that he did. And I thought that he was very energetic and spicy. And I was interested in the new language he was starting to learn use. Instead of saying chakras, he was saying energy centers instead of there was just some other things. I can't think of any other examples right now, but he had other kind of terms to kind of bring it like bridging it to take it out of mysterious woo and into more of a mainstream understanding, so not make people sound like they're about to sacrifice a goat. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, he definitely does that, like these Dr. Joe-isms. And so like I got introduced to Dr. Joe. It was a complete accident that I got introduced to him. It was basically one of the people that I met when I did ayahuasca in Peru. She basically called me up and she's like, Karlyn, I'm going to this Dr. Joe workshop in Austin, Texas, and you have to come. And this was at a time in my life. And this is like, I used to do crazy shit like this all the time where I would just like leave at a moment's notice and I'll be like, okay, Victor, take care of the dogs. I'll be back. And so basically I got on a plane. I had no idea who Dr. Joe was. I had never experienced his content before, but I trusted my friend and I was like, well, you know what? Worst comes to worst, I'll be in Austin. I'll go get some good food and some barbecue and maybe that'll be fine. It was just like a weekend thing or like whatever. And so I ended up going and doing what he used to call the progressive workshop, which is kind of like his intro workshop to his meditation style. And it's like, it's weird because you're in a giant room full of people. Like it's a giant ass conference room and you're learning how to meditate among these people. And in between the meditations, he's teaching you different things about manifesting and how the brain works and stuff like that. And so I learned a lot actually about just teaching in general from taking Dr. Joe's workshops, because he is, regardless of, you know, there could be a case to be made that he's a little bit of a quack. There could be a case to be made that maybe he exaggerates some of his results. And that's all very true. And you know, I think that people can judge what works for them and what doesn't. But I'll be honest, like I learned more from Dr. Joe about teaching people than any other teacher I've had, because he is such a good teacher. And one of the things that he does when you're in his workshops is he makes you, like, he'll explain a concept to you, and usually he draws it out, and it can get pretty complex because he's talking about different brainwaves and frequencies and all that, and it can be a lot to learn. And then he stops the workshop and he says, take 5 minutes and explain what I just told you to the person next to you.
Oh, yeah.
So it's that sort of thing. And of course it's like super uncomfortable because you're like, but like after a while you get used to it. And this is honestly part of why I do like even pop quizzes in my chat now is to
Mhm.
force my audience into a position of like, okay, I taught you something. Now you have to explain it back to me so
Yep.
that I know that you know it so that we can then move on to the next thing. And
Yeah.
one of the best ways to learn something is to actually teach it to someone else yourself. And
Yeah.
so I did this progressive workshop with him and I learned his meditation techniques and he taught like he used to, I don't know if he still teaches it anymore, but he taught this very specific breathing technique that just like it shoots you into another level when you do it.
Ooh.
Like you pull the breath up basically from the ground and you just slowly pull the breath up through all your chakras and it's just like and you do it just over and I'm sure other people do breathing techniques like this as well. I'm sure he didn't invent this, but it definitely just it does actually really work and
Oh,
it's
yeah.
almost like uncomfortable to the point of doing it. I used to do it with my hands in prayer and like basically my whole body starts going like this. It's like involuntary movements when I'm doing this breathing. And that's how I
Ooh.
know it's working and that's how I know it's effective.
Yeah.
So I did this workshop. I thought it was fine. I thought it was, it was entertaining. It was a good weekend. I met a lot of great people there. I had a good time. And so then my friend says, "Next thing you have to do is do the advanced workshop." And I was
Ooh.
like, "Okay." And so the advanced workshop involved going to Santa Fe, New Mexico for a week and my friend was there too and her boyfriend.
Love Santa
And
Fe.
Santa Fe awesome. I
Yeah.
love it's like in the middle of nowhere. The airport is like teeny tiny. Like I've never seen a smaller airport in my life. Like I mean, we were out in the middle of the desert on this like kind of like resort type thing. So the advanced workshop was a full week long workshop where I mean, we did every type of meditation and I really had like I had a moment where I had healing in that workshop and that I'd had this really bad problem with my legs for running for a while and
Oh.
I actually like I physically healed that problem in that workshop. And it wasn't just for that weekend. It was like it followed me it wasn't perfect, but it was like significantly better than it was before. And this was a workshop I've told this story where there are a lot of like sick people that go to the workshops because one of Dr. Joe's things is that you can heal your body by healing your mind and based
Yeah.
on how you focus your energy you can heal certain things in your body. Well,
Yeah.
there was this older gentleman there that he was in a wheelchair all week. He was not walking around at all. And then on the last days of the conference, you basically get up really early and you do walking meditations out in the desert. And the
Oh.
whole idea behind it, and I actually had never done a walking meditation before, but I really appreciated this. Like the whole idea behind it is you walk as the person you want to be.
Oh,
So
interesting. I've done labyrinths before, like an actual labyrinth but not the, like the bush things, but like it's on the ground that you walk through these little paths
yes.
and you have a meditation and by the time you get to the center you should have an epiphany. That's the theory anyway.
Exactly. Well, so I started this walking meditation. You're just following a path out through the desert, and you're just kind of like, and there's no one else out there or anything.
Yeah.
And so I was just doing my thing, and it was honestly a really powerful meditation. But I passed this old guy on the way out, and he had his wheelchair with him, but he had these two canes, and he was just like he had someone following him with the wheelchair, and it was the first time I'd seen him standing up all week, and he
Wow.
was just like one cane in front of the other, one cane in front of. He was going so slow, and I just passed him.
Oh,
I was like, you do you, bro. Like good for
glad.
you, man. And I was like even just like the fact that that guy's out of the wheelchair, that in and of itself is pretty effing cool. Well, I did the whole full loop, and at some point I came back upon this guy again. And instead of having the one cane in front of the other, he's now marching, holding both canes in his hand like this. And that's
Wow.
when I was like, oh shit.
That guy, wow, strong willpower there. Well, we watched
Yeah,
last week that how your mind creates your reality.
exactly. And so
Yeah, same thing.
and and one of the other people, my friend's boyfriend at the time was there too, and he was talking about how like he totally had a fix with like his shoulder with one of these things and stuff like that. And so this is also one of those crazy workshops where one of the things we did was he makes you get up at like he makes you report for the meditation at 4 a.m. So essentially, like you get up like however 2 a.m. or whatever, 2 or 3 a.m. and you have to be down at the meditation center by 4 a.m. because that's when the melatonin level is highest in your brain.
Oh yeah.
And so you get down there and everyone's super tired, but then you just start meditating and you meditate for, I think it was at least 2 or 3 hours or something like that. And you don't fall asleep or anything because they've revved you up to it at this point. This is like one of the last things they do.
Whoa.
And so that was crazy. And then of course they decided to do an impromptu one again the next day. So
Did
I
you
did
get a
that 2
nap
days in a row.
after, or-
Well, I don't even remember. Like you're pretty like I think I probably did get a nap after that, but
Good, yeah.
it was weird. So I did that,
Cool.
and then I did the advanced follow-up workshop, which was
Wow.
in Jack's. I know it's like a long
Was
ass
this
story.
expensive or?
Oh yeah. They're actually much more expensive now than when I did them. I think the week long was like maybe $1,500 or something. I mean, it's a week long conference, and so it's like,
Yeah.
so I mean, relative. There was a time, Jennifer, when I was an organizational consultant and I made a lot of money, and it was really great.
What was that like, making money?
I know, before I discovered doing socialism on the internet, everyone accuses me of grifting on the internet with the socialism stuff, and I'm like, do you understand that I left my grift? My grift was organizational consulting.
It'd be easier to grift.
Yeah. And so then I did the advanced follow-up, and that was in Florida, right outside Jacksonville on an island. We went out to a freaking island.
Oh.
And so this again is one of those crazy things where like you started the workshop, it was like 4 days long. You started the workshop at 11 o'clock at night. You started meditating by 1 or 2, and you would meditate until 7 o'clock in the morning. And then you get up and you go do a walking meditation on the beach in the island in Florida. And so it's one of those scenes where like and if you look at like some of the workshops he does, it looks so cheesy because you just got all these people like standing on the beach looking like they're zombies out into the ocean. But there is actually a process that's going on when you're doing this.
Yeah.
So I have a lot of Dr. Joe experience, but I haven't listened to Dr. Joe in a long time. And so I'm actually really excited to watch this. And so that is, and listen, again, like I know that he can be off-putting to some people. He's an Aries. He's an Italian. He absolutely has an attitude. He absolutely has an ego. His voice is a little weird.
I like him. I think he's great, and I appreciate his style of communication from the one part.
Yeah.
Because I was actually, when I was researching our chakra work, I was the workshop, the DISENRAGE we were going to do on it. I came across him, and I got really distracted because I wanted to keep listening to him. And I'm like, I need to hear more of this. I'm enjoying this journey with him so much. And one thing though that was kind of, I don't know if it was getting under my skin or not. It kind of irritated me, but then it was cute at the same time. And he has this like tick. Well, he'll say something, then he's like, you agree with me, right? Or so whatever it was. He says this thing like over and over, like, say it back to me, or you understand it, right? Or just whatever. He'd say the same thing over and over. I can't remember what it is now, but it was something like that. I'm sure it'll come up here.
Yeah.
And, it was kind of cute, but I was also like, it felt like a tactic to get people to go, huh, what? Oh yeah, I'm still listening. It felt like it was an attention.
Oh, it is though.
Very
it
effective.
is. He does that all the time. And this is like,
Yeah.
so what I found with him is, and there's a ton of interviews with him online. And so people can always find that, but I ended up coming across just randomly. I don't even know what seminar it is. It just says Dr. Joe Dispenza, amazing seminar. And it looks like a live recording of just like one of his seminars. And it might even look like, this even looks like a little bit of an older one, which is okay, I think, because the ideas are the same. And so I was like, we need to have the full Dr. Joe teaching experience because it is something you kind of just need to experience. I don't think it comes across as well as in an interview.
Yeah, I agree. All right, I'm excited. Yay.
Cool. All right. So let's dig in and hopefully Dr. Joe teaches us something fun.
Good morning. Thank you. Thank you. I think I'm in the right place. My dear friend Dawson Church is a jewel, isn't he? I want you to turn to the person next to you. I want you to look them in the eye, and I want you to introduce yourself as a genius. Let's begin.
I've done that, yeah. I've totally done that. I'm a genius. I'm Karlyn, and I am a genius.
I like that. Although I don't know if I could say it unironically.
This one day, workshop is about you. It's an opportunity for you to retreat from your life for just one day and to remove the constant stimulation in your external environment that reminds you of who you think you are as a personality. To separate yourself from the people you know, and the places you go, and the things that you do at the exact same time every single day, long enough for us to remind you of what you already know, that you are actually the creator of your life. And we are going to develop concepts and ideas in one day. And every time you learn something new, you make new connections in your brain. That's what learning is. Mm-hmm. Learning is forging new synaptic connections. And as you begin to...
So he does this thing, and you guys are going to notice this, is that he's very conscious of explaining how every single part of the process works, because he thinks that if you understand exactly what's going on when you're doing these exercises or when you're meditating, it's going to allow you to get deeper into it and trust the process of like manifesting more.
I like that, because there are a lot of so-called gurus who just expect you to keep up, and they get kind of snobby with it. Like, if you can't just follow along, you're not taking the concepts in for some reason, they get a little irritated and gritty with you. Oh, well, I guess you're just not ready for this program, you know, or that they make an example out of you. And that's just like part of what they did. You know, I told you I went to the Forum in Action seminars, and that's kind of like if somebody wasn't retaining information, the speaker would kind of poke fun at them until they would get that person to kind of nervously laugh, and then they would start to, I guess, the trauma of the moment imprinted the lesson. I don't know. It was really bizarre. It was a strange tactic. I like how he does it a little better.
Yeah, and he really slow walks a lot of stuff, so I never felt like that in his workshops.
That. Yeah.
Leave imprints in your neurological tissue as a result of your interaction in the environment. The next thing is that you're going to have an opportunity then to apply that information, to personalize it, to demonstrate it. And a certain group of people will get their behaviors to match their intentions. To get their actions equal to their thoughts, they'll step out into the unknown and they'll try it. And when they do, they'll have a new experience. An experience then enriches the brain, reorganizing more circuits than what you understood physiologically. But the moment those neurons string into place, the brain makes a chemical, and that chemical is called a feeling or an emotion. And the moment you feel unlimited, the moment you feel like a patient parent, the moment you feel abundant, the moment you feel free, now you are teaching your body chemically to understand what your mind has intellectually understood. So we can say knowledge is for the mind and experience is for the body. And in that moment, you're beginning to embody the truth of that philosophy, of that theory.
Okay, I just want to explain to people what he's talking about. You know, like when you have a nightmare, like in your head, you're having a nightmare, you are being chased through the woods by a monster or something like that. You wake up, and even though you're in bed and you were sleeping, your body's going to be tense, you might be sweating, your heart might be racing. That's what he's talking about. And I think a lot of people don't understand when he's saying, like, you know, you have a thought, that thought translates to a chemical, that chemical translates into feelings in your body. It is a very direct thing. It's like our thoughts our thoughts make our body do things. And we all know this is true, but sometimes people they don't remember it happening to them when it has happened to you.
Well, unless you have a little nocturnal emission.
Yeah, that never happens. Exactly. Mm-mm.
And you're literally signaling new genes in new ways. And you are rewriting your biological program. But if you've done it once, it must mean you can do it again. And if you can repeat any experience over and over again, you are going to neurochemically condition your mind and body to begin to work as one. And when you've done something so many times that the body now knows how to do it as well as the mind, now it's becoming innate in you. It's second nature. It's easy. It's familiar. It's who you are. As a matter of fact, you've practiced it so many times that you don't even have to consciously think about it because it's becoming a subconscious program. So our job is to go from philosopher to initiate to master, from knowledge to experience to wisdom, from mind to body to soul, from thinking to doing to being, to learning it with your head, practicing it with your hands, and knowing it by heart. And you and I have all the biological and neurological machinery to do this. And this is a time in history where it's not enough to know. This is a time in history to know how. And I can tell you from my last 5 years of traveling around the world, the common people that look just like you are doing the uncommon. They're healing themselves of very serious health conditions. They're creating better opportunities and better lives for themselves, new careers. They're healing old scars and wounds that kept them connected to the past. And they're having mystical experiences that transcend language, that take them years to be able to understand and explain. And they look just like you. That most people in their life wait for that crisis or the trauma, the disease, or the diagnosis, some kind of loss, betrayal in their life before they make up their mind to change. And my message has always been, why wait? Why wait for that tragedy before you decide to change who you are? That when you begin to apply these principles because you understand that they work, then it means then you'll believe in a future more than you believe in your past. And people who do the work are more in love with their future than they are with their past. And they're more interested in telling the story of possibility in their future than reliving the emotions and experiences of the past. And you know, the beauty behind all of this is that you don't have to be a monk. You don't have to be a priest. You don't have to be a rabbi. You don't have to have 40 years of meditation. You don't have to be a scholar or an academic. As a matter of fact, it's better if you're not. Because the simplicity of all of this, when people begin to apply it, is they begin to experience the fruits of their efforts. And I can tell you there isn't a person in this room that is so special to be excluded from this phenomenon. And that your thoughts literally have an effect on your body. That all thoughts carry an energy or a frequency. And if you believe that on some level that your thoughts have something to do with your body or your life, and you're thinking 60 to 70,000 thoughts in one day, and 90% of those thoughts are the same redundant thoughts as the day before, it's going to produce the same measurable effects in your body, yes or no?
Yes.
And you are going to begin
That's
to
what it
emit
is,
the
yes or
same
no?
energy and
Yeah.
information in your field.
Yeah. He does this call and response thing just to
Yeah.
like, I think to keep people on their toes to make sure they're listening.
Yep.
It works, man.
Good tactic.
And you are going to keep creating the same life. So then the same thoughts always lead to the
See,
same choices. Same
He's not wrong. I mean, it's like, and I love just the simplicity with which he's been able to like drill all this stuff down to, where he's like, look, if you're thinking the same thing every single day, you are going to have the same life every single day. If you want your life to change, you need to think different thoughts. And it's like, it's so simple, but how many people complain about their life every day, and yet they get up and they think the same thoughts every day, and they approach everything the same way, and then they wonder why nothing ever changes. Well, there's a reason it doesn't change.
Yeah. Starts inside at ground zero.
choices always lead to the same behaviors. The same behaviors create the same experiences. And the same experiences produce the same feelings and the same emotions. And those very same emotions drive your very same thoughts. And your biology, your neurocircuitry, your neurochemistry, your hormones, and even your genetic expression is equal to how you think, how you act, and how you feel. And how you think, how you act, and how you feel is called your personality. And your personality creates your personal reality. That's it. That's it.
That's a Dr. Joeism. Your personality creates your personal reality.
Oh, I see what he did there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Personal reality, personality.
He's very clever.
It's very, I like it.
Mhm.
Well, Italians are.
So if you wanted to create a new personal reality, a new life, you would have to change your personality, yes or no?
Yes.
That means then you would have to start thinking about what you've been thinking about and change it, yes? You would have to become aware of your unconscious habits and behaviors and modify them, true?
True.
Even what you say and how you talk. And you would have to look at those emotions that keep you connected to your past, because emotions are the end product of past experiences.
Ah,
And
hang
you would
on.
have to
Yo,
decide,
Dude,
Emotions are the end product of past experiences.
let me just
See?
absorb that. Oh my God.
Yeah, right, right, right.
Oh my God. Well, I told you I'm having anxiety right now because of, the whole big shift in our world that's going on. Well, not in my personal life, moving and everything. And so it's like that oscillation that's taking place. Like, did we find the place we're going to go live at, or do I just want to stay where I know it's like the devil you know or the devil you don't. And it's like that emotional attachment is so strong, and trying to kind of go, unplug it and get just take that step, go through that door. It's going to be fine. And you're just terrified. Those emotions from the past is like, it's just comfortable. It's your comfy place.
Yep.
Ugh.
of past experiences. And you would have to decide, do these emotions belong in my future?
Actually, Dr. Joe is very clear that he does not believe time is real. He teaches you when you're meditating, he says you have to think of yourself as nowhere, no one, no time.
I like that for meditation. That's nice.
He's
I dig
also
it.
talked about how he's jumped timelines. I've heard him talk about this in like advanced workshops and stuff like
I need to investigate timeline shit. Seriously, Karlyn, because I know I have a couple times and I don't even believe in it all the way. So I need to learn.
I absolutely think you probably jumped timelines. I think so I vaguely remember he told this story. I think it was like in the advanced follow-up workshop where he was doing some meditation or something. And so he was it was like he was no, here's what it was. He was giving a workshop, and in the corner of his eye he sees some like sparkly thing over here, and he doesn't really understand what it is, but he knows there's something there, and he kind of just like filed it away. He didn't really think about it. And then like several months later he was doing a meditation, and he jumped into a timeline where it was like he was watching himself in a future workshop, but it was like he was watching it from the past, but it was something, it was like a weird thing where he saw himself giving a workshop that he was going to give or something like that. So I don't know.
So he saw himself like spying on himself.
Yeah, sort of thing. So he saw into some portal that was into some room where he was giving a workshop at some point. It was just like, it was a weird thing, but
yeah, I totally think that kind of shit can happen. Absolutely.
That means if you want to be wealthy, you can't take lack or unworthiness.
true.
Wealthy person would never feel that way.
True.
So most people try to create a new personal reality as the same personality, and it doesn't work. You're literally going to have to become someone else.
Uh-huh.
So the principle in neuroscience says that nerve cells that fire together
wire together.
So if you keep thinking the same thoughts, making the same choices, demonstrating the same behaviors, create the same experiences that stamp the same networks of neurons into the same patterns, all for the familiar feeling called you, then wouldn't you agree then, if you've done that over and over again, firing and wiring, emotionally conditioning and signaling the body in the same way into the past? If you did that, I don't know, let's be conservative, 25 years, would you agree then you would begin to hardwire your brain into a very finite signature? Yes? And that finite signature is called your identity. And it's a fact that by the time we're 35 years old, we become memorized to a set of automatic programs, behaviors, beliefs, perceptions, emotional reactions that function subconsciously. So then the first process of change then would become conscious of your unconscious thoughts, yes or no?
Yes.
And because of the size of the frontal lobe, which is 40% of your entire brain, the crowning achievement of the human being, the fact that you can observe how you're thinking, notice how you're acting, and pay attention to how you're feeling, the moment you can observe that, it means you're no longer the program. Yes or no?
Yes.
You're the consciousness observing the program, and you're beginning to objectify your subjective self. You're no longer your biology. You're the consciousness observing who you are. Yes or no?
Yes.
So then the word meditation then literally means...
How are you doing, Jetafire?
Okay.
Your whole body just shook there. So you're like, oh shit. As soon as I can observe myself, I become the consciousness and not just the biology.
Well, I have had moments of clarity like that. I don't live in it every moment of every day. I'm not sure it's healthy to, honestly, but I have had moments where I'm like, I see the matrix and I can reprogram it to my will. And I've had those moments. And it's funny because when sometimes that temptation is there to see the matrix and to take that, that reprogramming leap. And then sometimes you just kind of go, I don't want to look at this right now. Nope, not seeing this.
I think it's scary when that happens sometimes. Like I've been doing it a lot lately because I've still been doing like this whole releasing control and just learning how to receive and not try to force everything. So I've been doing this a lot lately, and it's like, when I'm in a like really heightened state where I'm meditating, I feel totally fine. But there've been some times when I don't quite reach that level, and it is fucking scary when that happens because you're like, oh shit, I control all of this. I have power to move all of this stuff around. I don't want to do that's actually really scary. That means I'm responsible for everything. I don't like that idea because I've had a lot of fucked up shit happen to me, and this requires me to take responsibility for that, and I don't want to. So this is like, I don't know, maybe that's just my internal monologue, but
it's like they take the net away.
Yeah.
All of a sudden you realize there's no net. I am standing on the edge of this building and they're telling me it's totally fine to jump. You're going to land on your feet and you won't hurt yourself. And you go, fuck off. Don't trust us. Truly, it's fine. You control everything. You can control your descent. You can land on your feet. It's going to be great. And that's a level of control and trust you have to have in yourself. And that's hard.
It's like in the Matrix when Neo is jumping off the building.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly where I was sending you the image.
Yeah, there you go.
To become familiar with. That's what it means. That's the symbol. So then if you begin to become familiar with how you've been thinking, and you're so conscious of those unconscious thoughts like, I can't, what's wrong with me, it's too hard, I'll never change, I'll never make it, I'm too tired, nobody loves me. Those are the thoughts that are slipping by your analytical mind unchecked and beginning to program your autonomic nervous system into the same destiny. The moment you become aware of what comes out of your mouth and how you act, whether you blame or complain or make excuses for yourself or judge other people, the moment you become aware of that, if you're so familiar with that program, would you agree the more conscious you are of that unconscious habit, less likely you're to go unconscious? Yes or no?
Yes.
And it would take an act of will to stay present and aware. Yes or no?
Yes.
And if you're becoming so familiar with the emotions that you've been living by every day for the last 20 years, that you didn't even know that you were guilty because it just felt like you. And it was so comfortable suffering that you felt really good to feel bad. But you didn't know that because that's just how you've been feeling.
No, but
yes or no?
But for real though, like when you get in a funk, like, and I think we all know this, it's like, no, I'm gonna be angry right now. No, I'm not. There's no possible. I'm gonna start a fight with someone, and this is when we go onto Twitter, we start fighting with everyone, or when we pick a fight with our husband or wife for no good reason. By the way, they didn't really do anything wrong, or maybe they left the toilet seat up or something like that, and this sets off the argument of the fucking century because you don't want to be in a good mood right now.
Yeah, I just need to be mad or depressed or whatever, and I don't want to feel any better. There's another thing about like physical pain, and it's the same thing I think with mental and emotional pain. We are so used to feeling certain kinds of pain that we don't know what it feels like when that pain's not there.
Yeah.
And when some people, they have back pain, they've had it for years, and when the pain goes away, it's almost like they want it back because they're not used to feeling good. What do I do with this? I got nothing to complain about. I could do anything I want, and no, I liked it better when I was down here with my excuses and my back pain, or whatever the thing is,
I was like, I took this class. I think I told you about this one time. I took this class with this woman who like used to run around with the Grateful Dead. Her name was Nikki Scully, and she used to do all these like these tours of like the Egyptian mystery schools in Egypt and stuff like that. And so it was like an Egyptian mystery schools class. And so she did a healing on me in one of the things, and it had to do with it was my back actually. And when she finished, she was like, "Don't look for the pain." Because I had already gone like this. She's like, "Don't do it. You're looking for the pain. Stop right now." I was like,
trying to get it to kink back up. Let's quit it.
Yeah.
You got to let it go. Be healthy. Feel good.
And then all of a sudden you become conscious. Oh my God, what have I been doing? The moment you become aware of that, then it means then you're less likely to lower your energy and your emotional state during your day because you would become conscious of it. Yes or no?
Yes.
And what if then you decided, what thoughts do I want to put my attention behind? Let me review them, how a great person would think. What would be the internal dialogue they would have? And you began to fire and wire those circuits in your brain. And if you did that a few times, you would begin to install some circuits in your brain, yes or no? And if you kept thinking that way, firing and wiring, the hardware would become a software program, yes or no? And who knows? In your waking day, you may start thinking like a great person because the circuits are there, yes or no? Yes. And if you said, I'm going to master this day, one lifetime, how would an unlimited person live today? And you began to rehearse in your mind who you were going to be before you opened your eyes. The act of rehearsing mentally, when you're truly present, your brain does not know the difference between what's going on out there and what's going on in here.
So true. I love that idea of like, you're rehearsing the person you want to be before you even like really get up and start your day.
Yeah. There's a lot of advice out there about like imagine your day before you even get out of bed. If you have time, sometimes the alarm goes off and you're like, so, okay, fine. So do the meditation while you're in the shower or having your coffee or whatever. But yeah, visualize what you're going to do. And, if it doesn't go according to plan, that's okay. That's also how we learn not to have to control everything.
Well, also it's like if you are the person that you want to be, regardless of what happens to you, you are still behaving like that person would behave. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
So you're still fine. Even if things don't work out perfectly, you're handling it the way, like the goal of this is like life is never going to be perfect. We are at the whim of the free will of other people. So even if something is supposed to happen, even if God has ordained it to happen, even if everyone's spirit guides are telling them to just send the fucking DM, you asshole.
Oh no.
There's nothing going on. I just thought it'd be funny. Hang on.
Okay.
I just thought it would be funny. But what I'm saying is like, even if all these things conspire, it's like you still have free will and you can still be stubborn and not listen to literally everyone in your life, including your best fucking friend who told you just to send the DM, you fucking retard.
Yes.
Just saying, free will of other people.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden, you begin to install more circuits in your brain, priming it. All of a sudden, installing those circuits so that you have the hardware in place to act like that person, yes or no? Come on. Yes. And if you've done that enough times, would you all of a sudden start acting like that person?
Yes.
In your waking day, because you've primed your brain instead of to be a record of the past, that now it's becoming a map to the future. Yes or no? And then what if you said, this is to me.
Instead of being a record to the past, it's a map to the future. I just love how he gently walks people down this path, and there's no other place you can go. Like, you are
Yeah.
following him on his path, and he's making you affirm every 3 seconds that you are on the path with him. But it's like, it's so gentle and kind of beautiful that you're just like, yeah, I can do whatever the fuck I want.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's why you come out of these kinds of seminars really hopped up on life and everything, you know, and it's hard to you have that energy to carry it with you all the time. And that's what I love about being able to watch this stuff on YouTube is it can remind you of those states. And
Real.
get you back into and go, okay, remember the work. Don't forget. I know you feel like you've got a convention hangover now, but don't forget it's with you all the time now.
Need greatness. Can I teach my body emotionally what my future is going to feel like before it's made manifest? Now, this is the challenge because we've studied this so much.
Hang on. We need to go back and listen to that again. I know I'm stopping a lot, but I'm having it's all flooding back to me now, Jennifer. The hours and hours and hours that I've spent with Joe Dispenza is flooding back to me all in one fell swoop. So you know how so we talked about like manifesting, we talked about like creating your life last week and about how how you have to emotionally feel like you've already gotten what you wanted when you manifest, and that's how you manifest it. You have to emotionally feel like you already have it, and therefore it will be attracted into your life. He just said exactly the same thing, but he changed the language a little bit, and so I just want to listen to it again because it was just like it was a beautiful way to explain it.
Need greatness. Can I teach my body emotionally what my future is going to feel like before it's made manifest?
Can I teach my body emotionally what my future is going to feel like before it's made manifest?
I feel like I should be taking notes.
See, I know.
Oh my
I've
God.
notebooks from
Teach
Dr.
my
Joe's.
body because people go, imagine how it's going to feel, and it's like I don't know how it's going to feel. I've never experienced it before. If you teach your body how the emotions, just even the happiness, you don't have to like, okay, I'm going to go be a famous rock star, but I've never been one, so I don't know what it's like to stand in front of a stadium full of people. Don't imagine that. Imagine the joy and the excitement, or maybe listen to a crowd. You can even do that. Find a video.
Yeah.
Listen to a crowd cheer and go, that's me, that's for me. Feel that, you know.
You can even do we're so lucky that we have AI now. You can make an AI movie of yourself as a rock star right now, or even just like an image of you as a rock star, or whatever you want to be. It's like, in that way you can visualize it.
Yeah.
You can have AI write you a meditation if you want. AI, write me a meditation of how I would feel if I was in this thing, just to give you some idea of like, it doesn't need to be perfect, but the AI is going to spit something out. It's going to be like, you're going to feel powerful and blah, 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 all this stuff. And then you can modify it. It's like, it's so easy to do this stuff now.
Oh yeah. Well, and the other thing that is interesting that people don't often discuss or talk about is it might even show you that isn't what you really want.
Real.
You might have the emotion and go, whoa, ooh, no, I don't know if I'm ready for that. And that might help you to take different steps, maybe go in a different direction. I had an experience when I was about 18 where I was imagining being in an apartment in Chicago because I had been accepted to the Chicago Institute of Art. And I was imagining I've never left home before. I'm going to go live in a new city. It's going to be super exciting. Can't wait to get the hell out of this stuff, blah, 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 all the things. And then all of a sudden I was just kind of meditating about it, even though I wasn't sure what meditating was. I was just starting to leave Christianity in my heart at that point. But all of a sudden I don't know if I was transported, had a vision, or what the hell happened. But all of a sudden I was in a dark room. There was a window that had like kind of a filtered light that came through it. There was raining. I heard it was cold. I could feel the air from the window. It was humid. And then I heard cars honking downstairs and people shouting downstairs, down on the street, people shouting. And all of a sudden I felt this huge emptiness and wave of fear overcome me.
Yo.
And I was like, whoa, I was alone in a scary place and I don't understand any of this. And I snapped out of it and I was like, maybe I don't want to go just jump into that right now. or find a different way, because I was thinking I'll get my own place. I'm talking all tough, like I knew what the fuck I was doing. So I thought, well, I better figure out some different arrangements. And it turned out that I wasn't able to actually go to that school, so I didn't end up having that experience. But it was like, are you sure you want to go do all this big shit you're talking about? Because I don't think you're ready for it yet, sweetie.
Mm-hmm.
And I went, oh, you're right, I'm not ready.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you. Mhm.
Now, this is the challenge, because we've studied this so much. Most people wait for their wealth to feel abundant and worthy. They wait for their success to feel empowerment. They wait for the healing to feel gratitude and wholeness. They wait for their new relationship to feel love. Or they wait for the mystical moment to occur to feel awe. That means then we're victims to our environment. We're waiting for something outside of us to change how we feel inside of us. And the moment we feel better inside of us, we pay attention to whoever or whatever caused it. And that event in and of itself is called a memory. That's Newtonian
Yeah.
physics, cause
True.
and effect. In other words, if people are in lack or they're empty or they're suffering, they're waiting for some external exogenous condition to change how they feel. And what happens if it doesn't happen? They spend the rest of their life fighting for it, trying to controlling it, manipulating it, trying to make it happen because they're separate from possibility. But don't you know that the moment you start feeling wholeness, your healing begins? The moment you start feeling worthy and abundant, you're walking towards your future called wealth. The moment you're empowered by a vision in every single day, you're living in that energy, you are going to tune into a new future. And synchronicities and serendipities are going to begin to happen all around you. The moment you're in love with yourself and you're in love with life, you're going to magnetize an equal. And the moment you're in awe of knowledge and information, you're going to have a mystical experience. And that's causing an effect. And so then, if science tells us that the environment signals the gene, are you with me?
Yes.
And all genes make proteins. And proteins are responsible for the structure and the function of your body. And genes are like Christmas tree lights. They turn on and off all the time, and we've measured this. Would you agree then that if an experience in your environment produces an emotion, and science tells us it's the environment that signals the gene, when you begin to experience the emotion ahead of the environmental experience, you're signaling the gene to begin to make new proteins to prepare the body for that future experience. Are you with me? Yeah. Now you're in alignment biologically with the destiny, neurologically, chemically, hormonally. And all of a sudden now, this is the beauty. If you're able to then maintain that state of mind and body, where there's physical evidence in your brain and body to look like the experience has already occurred because you're doing the work, then the magic starts to happen in your life, and it comes out of nowhere. Those coincidences, those opportunities that begin to unfold are unfolding because you're no longer living in the known. You're living in the unknown. Are you with me still? And I'm telling you, you're more alive and at your best when you're in the unknown than when you're in the known. Are you still with me? Yeah. So then, if the brain is a record of the past, it's an artifact of everything you've learned and experienced to this moment. Would you agree then, if you're not being defined by a vision of the future every single day, you're left with the old circuits of the past? Yes or no?
Yes.
And if you are living by the memories of the past and you're not installing any circuits into the future, then you're going to be predictable in your life. Yes or no?
Yeah.
Come on. And if feelings and emotions are the end product of past experiences, and you remember experiences better because you remember how they feel, the moment you wake up in the morning and you say, let me think about my problems. Oh, now I'm starting to feel a little bit more like myself.
Yes.
Wait, let me grab my cell phone and let me check my WhatsApp and my texts and my emails and my Facebook. And Jennifer's eating carbohydrates. Did you see that? Oh my God. And my high school boyfriend is looking for me. And the moment you begin to connect to your network of your personal reality, the moment you start turning on those circuits in your brain and you come back to your senses and you get connected to those emotions that have defined you
Oh, so fucking
based
true.
on memories, and those emotions are driving your thoughts, and you can't think greater than how you feel, you're thinking in the past. Yes or no?
Yes.
And you'll keep creating more of the same life. So then, think about this. You wake up in the morning, your brain, for the most part, is in the past. Yes or no?
Yes.
Come on,
Yeah.
poke the person next to you over there.
Poke.
Ah!
And would you agree then, if you connect to a familiar feeling or an emotion, and those emotions are driving your thoughts, and those thoughts are creating the same emotions, and those same emotions are driving your same thoughts, and those same thoughts are creating the same emotions, that you're conditioning your body into the past? Yes or no? And your body is the unconscious mind. It doesn't know the difference between an experience in your life that's creating an emotion and an emotion that you're creating by thought alone. So the body, it's believing and it's living in the same past experience 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Yes or no? Yes. And the body is beginning
Wait. I got 0.0099 problems because manifesting ain't one. Ha 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 ha.
Is that a
Chad
math
Jesus.
joke?
He's saying he doesn't have like basically any problems because he could manifest.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Ha
Okay.
ha. I understand. Jennifer doesn't think it's funny because she's a Capricorn.
No, I don't like anything with numbers in it. I'm allergic to math.
continuously get the same information, and it's believing it's in the same environmental condition, which means you're signaling the same gene in the same way. Yes or no?
Yes.
And now you're headed for a genetic destiny. Yes or no? Yes. And you've done nothing wrong. You're just taking too long. Because those emotions then will define you. And then someone will say to you,
real.
What's up? Why are you so angry? Why are you so bitter? Why are you so afraid? Why are you so in so much pain? Why are you suffering so bad? And you say, I'm so glad you asked.
Wait a minute.
And then you tell a...
Go ahead.
This reminds me of, did you ever watch Ren and Stimpy?
I loved Ren and Stimpy, yeah.
Yeah, when he did the Happy Happy Joy Joy helmet.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so Ren is like, and he's singing the song, and Ren's like hitting himself on the head trying to get it off of his head because it's making him smile and happy. And then at the end of it, because you can find that video anywhere on YouTube, but at the end of it, he finally gets the helmet off and he goes, Stimpy, I just realized I'm angry. I've never been so angry. I love being angry.
Mm-hmm.
Just reminds me like how we get so addicted to the negative emotions.
I but the thing is, like, we can get addicted to positive emotions too. It's just like, I think most people they get so used to experiencing negative emotions and like wallowing the negative emotions and worrying about the negative emotions and doing all this stuff that, like, I mean, this is why Twitter is so toxic, because it's literally people who get up and spend all day, every day fighting with each other for no good reason.
Spreading poison. Well,
but they love it. They love it, and they love the feeling it gives them when they're fighting with someone and replying to them and making them feel like shit and all this stuff.
It's an adrenaline rush. It's like the same thing where if you can't, kids or Frankenstein can't get the good attention, the loving attention, they'll get the negative attention. They'll act out and be the little dickhead because they want attention in any form, and they'll take it in any form. But also we get even if we do get used to like writing in the happy zone and like we're very happy and we're thinking all the positive things and we're in a good mood and things have been going well for a while, don't you find yourself getting just a little suspicious of when the shoe's gonna fall?
Yeah, it's like when the kids are in the house and everything's quiet, but you know they're in the house, but it's too fucking quiet. You're like, what's going on?
Why is it so quiet? I do that with my dogs too. I'm like, I haven't heard them in a while.
What's going on?
What are they eating?
Does someone have a shoe in their mouth and that's why we're not hearing them? Mm-hmm.
I had this beautiful little sprout and Anya ate it last night.
Mm-hmm.
My last little seedling that came up from my plants to put in my garden, and she pulled it out and ate it, and I just about strangled her to death.
Do you know what's funny? So Kobe has Kobe has two different beds around Victor's desk. One of them is like right next to the desk. One of them is under the desk because Kobe has to have variety of bed to lay in during the day. Right.
Yes.
Yeah. And so in one of those beds, it's the bed that Kobe goes to when we give him, like, Victor gets these fish skin bones from the pet store, and they're just like crispy fish skin, but Kobe loves these fucking bones. This is like his greatest time of day is when he gets one of these bones, and he goes to a very specific bed. And we've been giving him these bones for a while. But what we've noticed recently is Kobe is now collecting scraps of these bones in his bed, whereas he used to just eat them before, but all of a sudden there are these scraps showing up and they're just like strewn all over the bed, and we're like, Kobe, you're laying in your bone, buddy, like what is going on? And Victor was like, is he rubbing himself with the fish oil? Is that like what's going on? But what we've kind of like decided on is Kobe used to have to eat all of the bone because if he didn't eat it, Honey would come and steal his bone from him.
Sure.
And he's not going to have that. But now that Kobe is the only dog of the house and he has all the beds to himself, now he's getting a little bit more comfortable. He's like, I'm going to save this bone for later. And he's like putting it in a snack pile or something.
He's messing a hoard.
And he has like no shame about it too. It's like, buddy, like you have never been this messy of a dog before. The other thing he's doing is Victor is mixing his diet food in with his normal food. Kobe is like picking out the diet food that he doesn't want and just like throwing it away.
Yep.
You're like, you know what? I'm not even mad at you. Yeah, Kobe owns the whole house now. It's over.
Oh yeah. When I had to figure out how to get Phelan to take his medication, and I tried those pill pockets. Those didn't work. He would just chew around it till he could just spit the pill out.
Yeah.
I would bundle it in cheese or bologna or cat food. I freaking tried everything. That dog would literally, and I know dogs can't like suck because they can't really form a vacuum very well, but he would suck on the pill to get the food off and then spit it out. And I'm like, how? So my husband had to like do the thing so we could choke him with the pill, but he eventually got over that. But still, yeah, it's amazing what they get in their heads. It's hilarious.
A narrative, the story of your past, firing and wiring the same circuits in your brain, working yourself up into an emotional froth to keep signaling the body into the past, reaffirming your personality based on a feeling. And the latest research on memory says that 50% of what you're talking about isn't even the truth.
Yo!
That you make stuff up.
Ain't it the truth? Most of the memories you have in your head aren't even fucking true.
Yeah, well, they're my truth, damn it.
Yeah, does anyone feel seen right now?
Well, this is how people can gaslight you if they want to manipulate you. Is they can start saying, "Oh no, that's not what happened," and then you have to wait. Did I see that? Was that? And because we know that our memory is fallible. So it's so creepy, so scary.
You embellish it.
True.
That memory is creative. And what that really means after all these years of studying this, when you ask a person that, it means that they had an event or a series of events in their life that branded them emotionally. And when they tell that narrative, what they're really saying is, I haven't been able to change since that event. I've been altered from that experience.
Oh.
Yes or no?
Yes.
And they find people in their life that are the same emotion, the same energy, and they use each other to reaffirm their addiction to that emotion, and they get agreement for it. And they say, I can suffer more than you can. No, I can suffer more than you
So
do.
true.
Are you with me still?
Yeah.
So then the body becomes conditioned into the past, which means for the most part, most people's biologies are anchored in the past. And if how you think and how you feel creates your state of being, and you're thinking the same thoughts that are creating the same feelings and same emotions, and those emotions are influencing your thoughts, would you agree then you're signaling that same gene over and over again? And if genes are responsible for the structure and the function of the body, and you keep selecting and instructing the same gene, you're going to wear that gene out. Yes or no?
True.
Just like gears in your car. taking a fax of a fax of a fax of a fax, or a copy of a copy of a copy, sooner or later, it's going to lose its detail, yes or no? And that's exactly what happens to the body. The body begins to break down because those proteins are responsible for your physiology, for your structure. So then if immune cells make immune proteins, and you're living in fear every single day, you're living in anger and resentment and impatience every single day, then you're signaling the same gene in the same way, yes or no? And if you keep doing that for a period of time, sooner or later, you're going to program that gene, and all of a sudden the body's going to get unhealthy, yes or no? And look, you know, people say, well, I did my meditation 3 days and nothing happened.
Yeah.
But I tell them, how long did it take you to create that condition? Tell me. So then if meditation means to become familiar with, you got to become more familiar with the thoughts, behaviors, and emotions of your future than familiar with the thoughts and behaviors, emotions of your past. Yes or no?
Yes.
So then if you keep firing and wiring the same circuits in your brain, installing the circuits, the hardware becomes a software program, and it gets easier to think in unlimited ways. It gets easier to act like a wealthy person. It becomes easier then to cultivate the emotions of your future instead of the emotions of your past. And our students, people in this work, some of them have had horrific pasts. They've been abused, they've been traumatized, they have had very difficult conditions, and they stopped telling the story of their past.
Yup.
They started telling the story of their future, and they started believing more in that in their past. When people come up to me and they vomit all over me about their past, I don't have a problem with that. I know that it's natural to do that. But I always ask them, listen to me. If you can't overcome that past in some way and you're feeling those emotions, you'll only talk about your past when you're feeling those emotions, because those emotions bring you back to your past. Yes or no?
Yes.
Come on. But if you're having a great life, you never talk about your past anymore because you're no longer emotionally bound to it. Yes or no?
If you're having a great life, you don't even talk about the past anymore because you're no longer emotionally bound to the past. Isn't that the truth?
Wow. I think unless you want to help someone with your experience. But
Well,
yeah.
but that's still a future orientation. Like, you're going to do this. Like,
That's
you're doing.
true.
So that's, you don't spend time worrying and obsessing and like, oh, woe is me, my whole life is over, all this stuff. Like, if you're having a good life and you're getting what you want out of your life and you're happy and you're experiencing positive emotions, you don't let yourself be bound to like negative bullshit that's happened in the past.
Yeah, you feel completion. I'm done. I don't need to think about that anymore.
Yep.
Wow. Things that no longer serve you.
So then the moment you start feeling emotional, hint, you're back in your past. Yes or no?
Yes.
So now reason this with me. Great experiments have been done on the fact that we emit light and information, that you are an electromagnetic being, that you are emitting energy and information. And all that energy is carrying a message. And if you're living every single day in the same energy, then your life should not change in any way. Yes or no? Yes. Come on. Yes. Come on. Stay with me. Did the gene thing throw you off? So think about this. When you are living in fear, when you're living in anger, when you're living in resentment, you're living in survival, because those emotions signal the stress response. Yes or no?
Yes.
And when you turn on that stress response, you are going to draw from this invisible field of vital energy around your body, that light and that information, and you're going to turn it into chemistry. And you're going to diminish your very field around your body. Yes or no?
Yes. Hang on.
So then, when you
hang on. It's unfortunate that being successful can make this process easier. That's not the point. It's not about being successful. It's about being happy. You can be happy and not be a multimillionaire. You can be happy right now. You don't have to be successful.
Well,
So
no, but look at the other part of that message. It's reassuring that you don't need to wait until then. I
yeah.
think that's part of his message. So yeah, he's saying like some people, like he was saying, some people are like, oh, well, when you're rich, you're already happy and living in abundance. But he's also saying you don't have to wait till you're rich. You could do it now, and that's what will get you there. And I think that's what G was saying.
Okay, well, maybe that's true, but also like even a lot of successful people don't feel good, or they don't feel like they're on their path, or they're living in like, you know, the past or like whatever. I'm not trying to make anyone feel bad. I just think like
Yeah. No, I'm sure like if you got money and you can walk around like it doesn't matter, that's a form of abundance. However, you might have scarcity with love or friendship or,
Mhm.
you know, feeling important, or even because having money and being a part of a big corporation, you still might not feel like you matter.
I mean, there are a lot of people even that have money that don't feel abundant. There are people
Yeah.
that are constantly chasing money because they never like
That's
look
true.
at Meghan Markle. Look
Yeah.
at Meghan Markle's a great example.
Nothing's ever enough for her.
Literal royalty,
Mhm.
always chasing money because she never thinks she lives in a $15 million house, never has enough money.
No, she's in scarcity.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Perceive a threat. When you see a circumstance in your environment that is unpredictable or unknown, the moment you perceive that, you activate that fight or flight nervous system, the sympathetic nervous system, and you're going to
Mhm.
mobilize enormous amounts of energy to prepare yourself for that danger in your outer world. Yes or no?
Yes.
And you can do that on the short term because that's survival. But when the event is over, the body rests, parasympathetic nervous system turns back on, long-term building projects start to occur, you're starting to heal. And all organisms can tolerate short-term stress. But what if it's not a predator? What if it's your coworker? What if it's your boss? What if it's your sister-in-law? Because of some past experience, you're perceiving that condition in your environment based on your past, and you're turning on the same stress response as if you were being chased by a predator. Yes or no?
Yes.
And you keep going back into that environmental condition, and you knee-jerk in the same way, and you keep producing those same chemicals over and over again, same chemicals over and over again. Stress chemicals downregulate genes to create disease. It's a fact. Are you with me still? So then, if you're doing that for an extended period of time, and all of a sudden now you become addicted to the very rush of chemistry that gives the brain and body a rush of energy, would you agree then, if you keep doing that over and over again like an addict, you need to feel angry? You need to feel
Yes.
lack. You
Yep.
need to feel unworthy because it reaffirms the emotional state. Are you
Yep.
still with me?
It
Now,
justifies
it gets a
your
little bit
misery.
weird here because we got a
Yup.
big frontal lobe. And you can just call up a memory from the past. And the moment you call up the memory from the past, your body's in the past physiologically and emotionally.
Yeah.
And you can begin to worry about the
This is why some people on the internet complain about me for years and years and years and years on end, because they are constantly living in that emotional state that I created for them when I blocked them in 2020 for being a dick. And they have never let go of the fact that they got blocked by me on Twitter for being a raging toxic asshole in my feed. And they've held on to it, and they go back to it every single time they post a fucking tweet about me. They go back to it every single time they Photoshop a photo about me, because they're trying to get me to feel like they felt when I blocked them on Twitter, or they're trying to get some of my attention again because I haven't given it. So they're obviously not going to get good attention. I already blocked them, so they're going for the bad attention.
Yeah. Yeah.
worst thing that could happen in your life. Out of the infinite potentials in the quantum field, you're going to select the worst case scenario. And you're going to begin to get ready for that event.
Mm-hmm.
And you are going to begin to change your emotional state in preparation for the worst thing that could happen.
Oh,
because in
so
survival, if you prepare for the worst, you have better chances of surviving.
Mm-hmm.
Are you with me still?
Yes.
Now, I would call that a limited imagination. Yes or no?
Yes.
But in survival, though, when you're in stress, then if you prepare for the worst and it doesn't happen and something less happens, you have a better chance of living. And this is the primitive survival gene that begins to become activated. And people spend their entire life doing this. And all they're doing is marrying a clear intention, a vision of their future, which is a very limited point of view, and embracing it with a familiar emotion of the past. And they're expecting their past to be their future. And if how you think and how you feel creates your state of being, that person's past is going to be their future. Are you with me still? Yeah. So then, reason this with me. If you can turn on the stress response just by thought alone, and the hormones of stress give the brain and body a rush of energy, and people become conditioned or addicted like junkies to those emotions, then would you agree with me then? If you can turn on that stress response just by thought alone, that you can become addicted to your own thoughts? Yes or no? And if the hormones of stress are highly addictive and you're using your boss or your coworker or your sister-in-law or your finances to reaffirm your addiction to that emotion, is it possible you become addicted to the life you don't even like? Yes or no?
Yeah.
And this is why
Yep.
change is so hard. And if you can turn on the stress response just by thought alone,
you become addicted to the life you don't even like.
Yep.
This is what I meant last week when I was like, we were talking about how you might think you're not manifesting anything because you don't believe in that woo-woo bullshit. Oh no. No. You're manifesting your life right now. Do you like your life? No,
Yeah.
you don't like your life? Well, better start manifesting something differently. Better learn how that works.
I had a dear friend of mine who has been single for a very long time, and he was complaining frequently about being single and, oh, if only blah blah blah, meet this person, meet that person. And I said, well, how are you trying to meet people? Well, I don't really do much. Like, don't leave your house. You don't go out. I mean, go to a bar, go to a party. Go, well, I don't like people anymore. Well, then shut up. You're obviously happy being single because you're not going to try an app. Oh, don't trust those. Well, then don't complain to me. You are living the life you want because you're attracting nothing but more of the same thing.
Well, and this is what he's saying when he says, like, you have to be the person who would live the life you want. Is like,
Yes.
okay, if you want to be a person that's out there meeting people, you need to leave the fucking house.
You have to go be me. You have to go meet people. That's a good God. It's the same stupid. Be the change you want to see. Oh my God, that damn thing keeps coming into my head, but it's true. But yeah, that's if you want to go do the thing. You want to go meet people. And I have lots of friends who are single. One of my dearest friends who was a lesbian was like, I don't like going to lesbian bars anymore because blah blah blah, this, that, and the other thing. I'm like, well, then what are you going to do? Well, I think she'll just show up because I'll just attract her and she'll just magically be somewhere. Like we're going to bump into each other at the grocery store. While that can happen, I wouldn't count on it. You need to you have too much energy of resistance.
Yeah.
Doing this, you need to start do all the things, try everything, say yes to every opportunity. And then that person is going to go floop right in front of you, wherever that is.
You have to allow for that person to come into your life. You have to be doing things that allow that person to come into your life. It's just like, and so like another example is like, I used to coach these people all the time that they desperately wanted a new job. They really wanted a new job. And I'd be like, okay, so we're going to update your resume, right? They're like, oh, I don't really want to do that. Oh, we're going to start applying to jobs, right? Oh, I don't really want to do that. Have you done, like, I've set up some Indeed searches for you. Have you looked at these jobs? I don't really want to do that. I don't want to send them my resume. What if they won't meet my salary requirements? What if they don't like me? I'm like,
what if blah, 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 blah. You don't know.
Yeah. It's like, okay, well, if you want to get a new job, you need to update your resume and you need to start sending it out to places. And I don't know how you expect to get a new job if you aren't going to do those things.
Yeah. Well, people do get, what if they break my heart? What if I'm disappointed? What if, with the job, what if the paycheck isn't? What if they don't give me enough vacation? You know what? If you sit there and circle the drain of doubt, you're never going to find out what the hell life can be. You'll never, I've started going into a water analogy. You'll never fill a glass and let someone drink you and experiencing you if you're just going to circle the drain. So
it's like,
get into that glass.
Do you know who's excellent at circling the fucking drain?
I'm so many people come to mind. Who
fucking Pisces, fucking Pisces, fucking Pisces, fucking little fishes that spend all fucking day circling the drain, coming up with every excuse in the book for why they can't just fucking do the thing they want to do, and they just keep swimming around like, what if I did this? What if she rejected me? What if she was mean to me? What if it doesn't work out? What if someone hurts me again? And they circle the drain and they never actually do the thing they want to do.
Yes,
Mhm.
they are
Pisces.
very good at that. Yes, they are.
You know, you had your Pisces as well.
Oh, yeah, 2 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The guy was a lot more, I think, of a higher Pisces or lower Pisces in those regards than the gal was a lot more of a behind the scenes stab you in the back type, whereas the guy was obviously like, oh, I don't know what to do. Like he would just absolutely the fish flipping out of water kind of thing. Yeah.
Mhm. Never again. Never again.
Nope.
And the hormones of stress downregulate genes to create disease, then your thoughts could make you sick. Yes or no?
Yes.
So, okay, let's go out on a limb here.
Your thoughts can make you
If your
sick.
thoughts could
True.
make you sick, is it possible that your thoughts could make you well? Yes. Okay. So then that
You
means
see,
then
like
that
this
you would
is
have-
so fucking simple. It's like, can your thoughts make you sick? Yes.
Yes.
We all know that. Yes, your thoughts can make you sick. Well, that doesn't it stand to reason then that it could go in the other direction too? And that's when people go, eh. And it's just like, well,
I think
no.
I think that's why I was so sick all the time in my like when I had regular office jobs. I called in sick constantly. I never got vacation because I was calling in sick constantly. And some of it was me not wanting to go to work, and some of it was I was so sick of everything. I literally made myself sick of everything.
Yep.
And I would call in sick, and then the next day after I played hooky, because that's what I was doing, I actually started getting symptoms of a cold, and I'm like, oh shit, I actually made myself sick. Oh, that's great. Okay, perfect.
Mhm.
Yeah, you can do that.
That's why you never tell people that you're sick. Because you're gonna actually you're gonna make yourself more sick if you post like, I'm not feeling good and everything sucks and I've got a cold and it's awful. It's like, okay, well, have fun.
Enjoy your misery. Don't give
Yeah.
it to me. I don't want your cyber germs.
Yeah.
to start a process of no longer drawing from this invisible field of vital energy and turning it into chemistry and diminishing your own light field. When you do that over time in chronic stress and you keep drawing from this invisible field of energy and turning it into chemistry, you have no light field. Yes or no?
Yes.
Come on.
Yes.
So now you're more matter and less energy, more particle and less wave. And in fact, the hormones of stress cause you to narrow your focus on objects and things and people because that's where the danger is. And when the hormones of stress kick in and your brain waves go into high beta and you're aroused, you're going to pay attention to your outer world and you're no longer going to want to believe in your inner world of possibility. Are you with me still?
Aw.
And if the
Yes.
survival gene is switched on, then you won't want to go in, close your eyes and create because it's not a time to create. It's not a time to focus on the unknown. It's a time to prepare yourself for what could be lurking behind those corners. And it's not a time to learn. It's not a time to open your heart. It's not a time to be vulnerable. It's not a time to sit still. It's a time to run, to fight, or to hide. And people spend the majority of their life living by these hormones. And those hormones cause us to become materialists, using our senses to define reality. And if you can't see it, you can't hear it, you can't smell it, you can't taste it, you can't feel it, it doesn't exist. And all of a sudden, people all of a sudden give up possibility. And
I have
now,
a
when
question
they're
for you,
more
Karlyn.
matter than
Yes.
energy, they will try.
Go ahead.
Dipping into your psychology knowledge,
Oh.
people, because he's talking about the stress hormones and the fight, flight or freeze reactions. A lot of people who have experienced trauma, especially childhood traumas and things, live in that fight or flight phase. That's what trauma kind of causes you to do
Right.
frequently. How would you, if someone just is on all the time, which is kind of how we live, we're a little jittery, but how would you suggest that someone goes about calming themselves out of the fight or flight? Like, how do you get out of that so that you can sit with yourself with tranquility and start to work on better thought processes?
I mean, I think the first thing they need to know is that they have to make the choice to do it. This is not something that is happening to them. This is a choice that they are making to stay in those emotions. And people don't want to hear that when they're traumatized from childhood, right? Especially if it's
Yeah.
like really bad trauma. It's but they need, this is like a tough love scenario where it's like, honey, I understand that you had really shitty things happen to you. I really do get it. And that sucks. And I'm very sorry for that. But you have an entire life in front of you. And you have to make a choice about, I mean, this is basically what Dr. Joe's talking about in this. Is like, you have to make a choice about if you want to be the person from the past with all that trauma and carrying that baggage around every day, or do you want to make the choice to move beyond that to become the person that you want to be, that you're probably going to be a lot happier being. But you have to make the choice, and you have to make the choice to step outside of the trauma. And it's like, you also have to understand that, I mean, and he said this too, this is not going to happen with one meditation. Like you have been carrying this trauma with you from childhood. It is not going to happen that you are going to let go of all your childhood trauma and all your emotions around that trauma in one meditation or 2 meditations or 30 meditations. It might take you hundreds of meditations to start letting go of this stuff. But like, if you make the choice to do it, and this is why I like how he teaches so much, because he just slow walks people through this process where it's like, by the time he gets to the end of the road, it's like, of course this is the road to take. Like, there's no question. Like, he's made you agree to the road the whole time. And so you're like, okay, I know in theory this is my path out of this, but then you have to make the choice to one foot in front of the other every day. Shut up, sit the fuck down, do the meditation. I don't care if you want to do the meditation. And he talks about this in some of his classes, where it's like, you have to, when you first start, force yourself to sit down and do it, whether you want to do it or not. And you can't go in with like the expectation of like one meditation is going to fix everything, because it's not. The process at the beginning is making the decision to be the person that is choosing to step outside of that trauma, and taking the associated behaviors that person would take. And is that person going to whine and complain? Or is that person going to shut up, sit the fuck down, do the meditation, stop fucking whining, and just get it over with? And even if it's not the greatest like meditation in the world, you still did it. And then the next day you get up and do it again. And then the next day you get up and do it again. And you start doing this until you create a habit. And like, people, it's a cliche phrase to kind of say, step outside your comfort zone, but which is what you're doing. But like, it's uncomfortable for a reason. You don't want to do the meditation every day because you are doing something different, which is inherently uncomfortable when you're trying to do something new. It's uncomfortable to rewire your brain. It's uncomfortable to force yourself to develop new habits and new mindsets and all that stuff. But you have to do it. And if you are serious about letting go, then there is only one choice to make. So that's kind of like, that's my very tough love answer. I might be a little bit gentler than that if I was actually like, having this conversation for real. But like, that's kind of my tough love answer. You have to make the choice to do it.
Oh, I dig that. I like that very much. I was just wanting to hear your perspective on that. One of the things that I tried to do was, because you're absolutely right, it starts with that choice. And then one of the things that helped me was just telling myself, I am safe.
Yeah.
I am safe. There's nothing to fear here, and that allows me to relax. And then I can actually do that. But I don't think everybody constantly walks around traumatized. There are people who love and thrive in that energy.
Oh yeah.
And you can tell who they are, because that all they do is talk about their problems and their illnesses and their this and their that, and it's like, oh dear.
And God forbid you tell them, maybe don't do that all the time. Maybe they're like,
maybe try
doing
something else besides focusing on your health. I can't do anything else besides focus on my health. And it's like,
yeah,
I'm just gonna calmly back away and make no sudden moves in this conversation. But yeah, it's just getting that choice and then choosing to say that experience is over. I am no longer experiencing. I am safe. And and everything else you said. But I just wanted to listen to what you had to say. So, and I'm sure a lot of other people were curious too.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Try to force outcomes, control outcomes, predict outcomes, fight for outcomes, because they are matter trying to change matter. Are you with me still? And as people begin to try to control and predict all the different things in their life when they're aroused by these chemicals, each person, each object, each thing, each place, each experience has a neurological network in their brain because they've experienced them already. Yes or no? And as they shift their attention from one person to one problem or one thing, they start activating these different circuits over and over again. And all of a sudden, if you measure that in the brain gets highly incoherent. It's a house divided against itself. And when your brain is incoherent, you're incoherent. And when your brain isn't working right, you're not working right. And at the exact same time, when this vital energy is being drawn and turned into chemistry, the heart, the center of oneness, the center of wholeness, your first step to divinity right here, the bridge, your connection to the unified field, it loses its energy, and all of a sudden it starts to beat very incoherently. And the emotions of resentment and impatience and hatred and violence cause the heart all of a sudden to no longer be in balance. And all of a sudden, we no longer trust our heart. What we want to do is protect ourselves from everyone and everything in our life, and we no longer trust. And if you can't trust in the unknown, then it doesn't exist. And people understand when they're living by the hormones of stress unconsciously to run from the unknown. Because the unknown you can't predict, and it's being in that state of the unknown, not being able to predict your future, that actually creates the stress response. So nobody takes a chance and possibility. And everybody's waiting for everybody to do it. Are you with me still? And when you narrow your focus on matter and on objects and things and people, you're focusing on the particle in quantum physics, and you're eliminating the wave of possibility. And where you place your attention is where you place your energy. And if all of your attention is on matter, then energy doesn't exist from you, and you will feel separate from the field. You will live in lack, and you will say, I feel empty, and I need that thing to make me feel better. And once I get that thing, I'm going to experience the emotion of it, and when I get it, then it's going to make me feel better. But when the novelty wears off, here comes the emptiness again. So then you say, I'm in lack again. I need one of those. So then you got to go to work, and you got to drag your body through space. And when you drag your body through space, you experience time. So then you got to go back and forth to work to make the money to pay for the thing that's going to fulfill some lack. But it never does. Are you with me still? And people then, all of a sudden, after 30 years, they have their car, they have their house, they have their relationship, and they're too exhausted to enjoy it. Are you with me still? And that's called normal.
So true. Yep.
But would you agree with me then? If you're waking up in the morning, come on, stay with me. If you're waking up in the morning and you're not being defined by some vision of the future, and your biology is in your past, and you get up and start your day, when you see the same people and you go to the same places and you do the exact same thing and you see the same object in your life, it's your environment that's influencing how you think and feel. Yes or no? And you will be thinking and feeling in the past because your biology is in the past. Yes or no? Come on. So if you see the same people and you go to the same places and you do the exact same thing at the exact same time, you would have to agree with me then that your personality is no longer creating your personality. Your personal reality is creating your personality. Your environment is controlling how you think and feel. Yes or no? And as long as you're reacting equal to your environment, you should create more of the same environment. Come on. And there should be a nice biological dance, a perfect match between your neurocircuitry, your chemistry, your genes, your hormones, with what's going on in your life. There's a tango going on between your inner world and your outer world. Yes or no? Yes. So then your environment is actually controlling you. You're a victim to the circumstances in your life. And you see the person, you unconsciously react. You go to the certain place and you think about in the past how it was. And so then, if how you think and how you feel creates your state of being, and you keep thinking the same thought that keeps producing the same emotion, that same emotion is influencing how you're thinking, you're hardwiring your brain and conditioning your body emotionally into the past. Yes?
Yes.
And if you do that enough times, thinking and feeling in the same way, the body becomes the mind of that emotion. Now the servant has become the master, and the body's running the show. Yes or no? And so then if the body then has become the mind of that emotion, then to change then would be becoming greater than your body. Yes or no? And if your environment has that much influence
Real.
on how you're thinking and feeling, then to change then is to be greater than your environment. Yes or no? And if you're
Yes.
waking up every single morning, coming back to your senses, looking at the person next to you saying, oh my God, who is that? How did I get here? Jeez. Wait, let me think of all my problems. Okay, I'm starting to feel like myself. Let me get my cell phone. Let me check. Okay, yeah, now I'm feeling like myself. And then you get up and you go through the same
Call
routine
out.
behaviors in your habitat. You have the vision of the toilet, and the next thing you know, you're in front of the toilet. Then while you're on the toilet, you have the vision of the coffee maker, and there you are, you're in front of the coffee maker. And then while you're drinking your coffee, you have the vision of the shower, and there you are in the shower. And while you're in the shower, you get super creative about the clothes you're going to wear. And next thing you know, you're dressed. And your body is always following your mind, but it's following it to the known. Are you with me still? And let's just say you drive to work the same way and see the same people
Thinking
and
of
go to
the
the same
unknown.
grocery store and buy the same food and watch the same television shows. And then you get in front of the mirror at night and you put your lotions and potions and creams on and floss the same way and brush your teeth. And you go to bed and you wake up in the morning and you're doing the same exact thing. Yes or no?
Yes.
Would you agree then we can take your past and lift it up and set it on your future? Yes or no? Now,
This is why I
that's
hated
karma.
office
That's
jobs.
it. That's karma. Right
What's
there.
that?
That's why I hated office jobs. It was so
Oh, yeah.
pointless.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Same
so much
thing.
of it.
The
There's a
endless
lot of-
cycle.
Yeah, and there's a lot of office jobs that I think people find purpose in, and they feel like they're fulfilling a service and they're engaged and they love their work. The office jobs I had that feeling very briefly, and it often faded. I was just happy I had a job, you know. And then I was like, I'm not doing this for the rest of my life. I will absolutely unalive myself if I have to keep doing this every day.
I would sooner shoot myself in the foot or some other place rather than go back and work in an office.
Oh,
like
yeah.
every day of the week. But I've been working for myself for over 10 years now.
Me
There is
too.
no possible way I could ever
No.
go back and work in an office
Once
ever
you
again.
don't have to answer to a boss again, or that shitty
Oh, yeah.
secretary that forgot to give you your messages or your mail or any of that stuff. I'll tell you what, I got to the point with my last job, I was like, it's me or this job.
Yeah.
I am
It's like-
done. I will
like-
take my freaking chances. I will lose everything, but I am stepping out that door and I'm going to make something different happen in my life. I am
Mhm.
over this shit.
I cannot imagine a more miserable. I mean, and you're right. It's like, okay, for some people, it's good if you have an office job. I'm not trying to shit talk you. If you love your job, I am happy and thrilled for you. We all have different paths. I will never ever do that shit again, though. It's so awful. And the worst part is the people, because it's like so many of the people are so miserable in their jobs that they want to fulfill that misery every single day. And then there's backstabbing, and then there's politics and constant shit talking and bullshit. It's like, then it's not even about the job at all. And by the way, most organizations don't actually want you to excel at your job. They just want you to be mediocre and be quiet and not question anything.
Yeah.
So it's like, if you're like an exceptional person, or even not even an exceptional, but just like an above average person, you're probably going to get a lot of shit because you're going to intimidate everyone else around you. And it's like, you know what? No.
Yeah. Or
No.
God forbid you find a better way of doing things, and then you could disrupt the entire system, and then you're
Oh my
really in
God.
trouble. And Chris, I'm not saying, like, I want to make sure that we aren't like dumping on people who have routines. That's a little different, I would say. I love routines. I'm a Capricorn. I really love routines. Although I'm a random particle creative, so I thrive in routines, but I fail at sticking to them on my own, because I like to go with my flow, my whim, whatever. But yeah, no, if you, God, though, a good routine though can help keep you straight, especially if you need to exercise, or you need to follow a diet, or when you need to put time aside to meditate and all that kind of thing. But just that pointless 9 to 5. I mean, please, whatever you guys do, find something that makes you feel like you're thriving.
Yeah. And it's never been easier to work for yourself, honestly.
No.
And yeah, I mean, it is scary. And yes, it takes time to get started up and all that stuff. And yeah, it can be a little bit scary sometimes. You don't know where like your next paycheck is going to come from. But it's never been easier to work for yourself. We have so many free tools available. We have AI. It's just like, man.
I just need a robot. I'm waiting for like the robot butler to be a thing, because I would love to have an assistant that walks in and goes, Jennifer, it's time for your 3 o'clock meditation. I'm like, oh, is it 3 already? Okay.
See, there's a program for that, Jennifer. It's called Set the Alarm on Your Phone.
An alarm on my phone. Gee.
Yeah, it's called Set the Alarm on Your Phone, and you can probably find a program where it says it in a lovely voice, where it's like, Jennifer, now it's time to meditate, and it's like
Yeah.
very soft.
The problem is that I go, yeah, okay, I'm gonna turn it off and then back to what I'm doing.
You think you wouldn't do that with a robot?
Well, if I'm looking at a physical thing that I feel like I'm mentally imagining I have accountability to, I probably would do it.
Do you know there are programs you can set on your computer where like you can't do anything, like you can't get on the internet or anything like that for like a certain time period? Or
No,
like it'll
no,
shut
no,
off
no.
it'll shut off your social media use. You're like, I only want to use social media for an hour a day. It's like, okay. It shuts it off.
It's a virtual parent going, your time's over, ding.
Yep. Mhm. Like
Oh my
you're like,
God.
no, fuck you. It's like, oh, wait till tomorrow.
And so then if you've done that enough times, a habit is a redundant set of automatic, unconscious thoughts, behaviors, and emotions that's acquired through frequent repetition. A habit is when you've done something so many times, your body now knows how to do it better than your mind. Are you with me still? So if you wake up in the morning and you're doing that, would you agree then your body's on autopilot? And it's dragging you into a predictable future based on what you did in the past. And you're unconscious. Yes or no? And I assert that when you are not in the present moment, you're running a program.
Mhm.
So don't take anything personally from somebody.
Autopilot.
Because they're just
True.
running a program as well. Are you with me still?
True.
So then, think about this. Would you agree then that if you are going to heal your body by thought alone, to create some new experience in your environment by thought alone, to create some new future that's no longer your past by thought alone, then you would have to become thought alone. Yes or no?
Yes.
Come on. So then would you agree then if your environment is so strong in conditioning you into the past, would you agree then maybe it'd be a good idea to sit down at the beginning of your day, close your eyes, and disconnect from your external environment? Yes or no?
Yes.
So then if you're seeing less things in your external environment because you've closed your eyes, all of a sudden now, your environment isn't going to control how you think and feel. Yes or no? And what if you were to play soft music in the background or put earplugs in and diminish more sensory information coming in from the environment? Would you agree you'd start putting more attention on your inner world instead of on your outer world? And what if you said to your body, hey, sit right here and stay right here.
Sit your ass
Don't
down
you
and meditate.
get up yet until I tell you it's time to get up. And your body is going to buck and kick like an unbridled stallion. I'm busy. I got a lot to do. I got emails.
Yeah,
to check. I got meetings to go to.
I want to really he is giving you the sit your ass down and meditate talk that I gave you earlier, because I've heard him say this a couple times before, and it's like but like what he's saying is true. It's like people are like, I can't meditate. It's too hard. It sucks. I don't want to. It's like, well, you're training your body to do something different, and your body is not going to like that because you're trying to get it to do something that's uncomfortable, and it is going to fight you until you say you're going to sit your fucking ass down and meditate, and there's just nothing you can do about it.
Well, I mean, I'm sure that these same people, if they wanted to play tennis, just automatically pick up a racket for the first time and swing away like a champion.
Mm-hmm.
Totally can control where the ball goes and hit it perfectly every time. Everything is a lesson. And if you've never done it before or don't have a lot of experience in it, it will take time to learn.
Yep.
You have to teach yourself.
It's time to get up. And your body is going to buck and kick like an unbridled stallion. I'm busy. I got a lot to do. I got emails to check. I got meetings to go to.
Mm-hmm.
Because you programmed it that way. Yes or no?
Yes.
And every time you say to the
That guy in
body,
the back. Yeah.
stay,
I got you. That guy was me. That guy was me. I was thinking in my head. I'm like, you know how you get up in the morning and you instantly pick up your phone and turn on Twitter and you instantly engage in the bullshit on Twitter. And it's like you know what you're doing, right? Yes.
Yes.
That guy was a king. Let's listen to that guy again.
going to buck and kick like an unbridled stallion. I'm busy. I got a lot to do. I got emails to check. I got meetings to go to. Because you programmed it that way, yes or no? And every time you say to the body, stay, are you telling it it's no longer the mind that
I
you're the
get
mind?
it, Dad.
Yes or no? And now the will is becoming greater than the program. Yes or no?
Yes.
And all of a sudden, if you became conscious that you were angry or emotional or suffering, and you became aware that that emotion was keeping you into the past and driving your brain into high beta, and you became aware of it, and then you settled your body back down into the present moment, and you kept taking it out of the past, sooner or later, the animal's going to surrender. Yes or no?
Yes.
And when it does, you are going to liberate energy. You are going to go from particle to wave, from matter to energy. And when that happens now, all of a sudden, you start feeling a little bit more joy, and energy starts to move right there. Are you with me still?
Mm-hmm.
And if you are uncompromising to the eternal present moment, the generous present moment, and you keep coming back to the present moment, coming back to the present moment, and you understand where you place your attention is where you place your energy, and you're no longer thinking about the people you have to see and the places you have to go and your cell phone and your computer and your emails and the news, and you keep returning your attention back to the present moment, would you agree then? You're disinvesting your energy out of the known future, and you're making room for the unknown in your life. Yes or no? So then in meditation then, if you are literally going to make some type of change and affect your outer world, you're going to have to put most of your attention on your inner world, and you're going to have to become greater than the conditions in your environment and disconnect from your environment. You're going to have to sit your body down and overcome your body, and you're going to have to transcend time. Are you with me still? So then when you're living by the hormones of stress and you're in a threatening situation and the survival gene is turned on, then you're going to spend the most of your time thinking about your environment.
Reagan. Oh, come on.
Wait.
Your body, and you're going to have to transcend time.
Yeah. So what? I get it.
I'm just saying.
I
I
have no
almost
problem
let
with
it go.
transcending
I
time.
almost let it go, Jennifer. I almost let it go. Then I was like, no.
Reagan, I'm gonna get you one day.
No, it wasn't. I heard it. I was like, you know what? We're having a nice meditation night. And like, no, we have to transcend.
But if you have to
time.
transcend, why would you have to trans something that's not real?
Because we've convinced ourselves it's real, because we lie to ourselves. As Dr. Joe said earlier, 50% of all the memories we have are totally fabricated. They're not real. We lie to ourselves about time because we need it.
Yeah, we do need time. I'm totally fine with it being a thing that is here and not here.
I'm just saying that Dr. Joe is teaching us how to transcend time, Jennifer. And I think you said you wanted to learn this. You said you wanted to jump timelines.
Oh my God.
Sorry.
I just need to understand it a little more, but I'm not sure I'll let myself.
Do you know why we have to have time? Because there are a lot of unevolved people in the world, and most of them are Christian, and that's okay. They're allowed to be Christian. That they're allowed, it's fine, but we have a lot of unevolved people in the world, and we have to deal with them too. It's like sometimes we have to do things that stupid people understand because there's more of them than there are of us, and we just have to just get on with it. It's like keep calm and carry on.
Yeah, I just like to use it as a mechanism for relating to this three-dimensional reality. And the non-reality stuff, there is no time, but when I'm dealing with this plane, I'll take it as given.
All right.
Are you with me still? So then when you're living by the hormones of stress and you're in a threatening situation and the survival gene is turned on, then you're going to spend the most of your time thinking about your environment. Yes or no? And what is your environment made of? People, pets, things, objects, places, Time, yes or no?
Time.
And when you're living by the hormones of stress and that survival gene is conditioned and turned on, would you agree that you better pay attention to your body if you're being chased by Mr. Big, yes or no? So most people start to put all of their attention on their body, and they start believing that they're their body. Are you with me still?
Yes.
And if you're living by the hormones of stress and you're trying to predict the future based on the past, then you would have to agree with me. Then when you're in the present moment, you can't be in stress. Because there is no future and there is no past. There's only the present moment.
True.
Yes or no?
Yes.
So then meditation is about that. And what we've measured over and over again when we've done this is I now know without a doubt that you are at your absolute best when you get beyond yourself, period. And I can tell you right now, you can't tell me you're too old. You can't tell me you're too out of shape. You can't tell me about your past. You can't tell me about your disease. I have seen transformation and shifts in people's bodies independent of how old they are, how out of shape, how in shape, their wealth, their social status. I've seen it happen on all cultures, all ages, all kinds of people. Are you with me still? So then, if you start taking your attention off your body, then would you agree that you would become nobody? Yes or no?
Nobody.
Yes or no? Yes. And if you took your attention off all the people in your life that you have to take care of and make sure everything's in place, and all those people have created your identity, that the moment you take your attention off all those people in your life, you become no one. Yes or no?
Mm-hmm.
Come on. And if you're not thinking about the things you own and all the objects, your computer, your cell phone, then all of a sudden you're in nothing. Yes or no? And if you take your attention off the place you have to go or the place you're sitting and you get so lost in your inner world that there's no longer an outer world, then you're in nowhere. Yes or no?
Nowhere.
And if you are not thinking about the predictable future or the familiar past, and you are in the generous present moment, then you are in no time.
No time!
Are you with me still? And that means then you're no longer your face. You're no longer your pain. You're no longer your job. You're no longer your gender. You're no longer your diet.
That's how it should be all the time. That's how it should be all the time. No one, no place, nowhere, nothing, no time. Nobody.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Present moment, then you are in no time. Are you with me still? And that means then you're no longer your face. You're no longer your pain. You're no longer your job. You're no longer your gender.
He's not talking about living like this day to day,
minute
to
longer...
minute.
Hey, Jennifer, can you just move on and enjoy the workshop?
I'm asking a question.
No, well, I mean,
wait a minute, Karlyn, I don't know.
Hang on. Well, no, I will bring this up every single week. I'm being very clear about my intentions. But no, I mean, if you extrapolate, okay, so what he's talking, this is an intro level workshop. Yeah. So is he trying to teach the people in the room to live like this all the time? No.
It's just during the meditation.
Does he get into that crazy shit in the more advanced workshops? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, interesting.
Yeah. He does.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I mean, for him, this is a mindset. This is perpetual. Like, you are always especially with the present moment stuff. Like, if you are existing outside of the present moment, then you are allowing your past to control you rather than creating for the future. That is kind of like one of his things.
Okay. No, I dig it. Right on.
Yep. No time. No time. No time.
For your profession, you're no longer a mother. You're no longer a father. You're no longer a kid.
There you go.
You're no longer your culture, your skin color. You're no longer your name. You are nobody. No one, no thing, nowhere, and no time.
No time.
In that moment, you are walking into the door to the quantum field. You are passing through the eye of the needle.
I like to think of it as you're outside of your past and your future. You're allowing the past to be unhinged. You're unhooking yourself from that so that you can be in the moment, which contains the present and the past and the future.
Well, everything. Well, being in the present moment, though, like this is a mindfulness thing. This isn't something that he made up. This is like a mindfulness thing, which
okay.
is like, it's everything that has ever happened or will ever happen is happening right now. If you are existing in the past, you are allowing the emotions that you had in the past to control you and
Right,
dictate your
right.
decisions now. So it's not about necessarily integrating everything now. It's about it is more about like saying these things are not real. Like
Yeah,
that's like
yeah.
functionally what it is. It's like if you don't say my past is not where I am right now, it is not relevant, it is not real to my experience now,
Right,
then you are going to allow your past to control the decisions you make now, which
right.
you don't want to do because you're going to be making them based on past emotions rather than the emotions you want to have right now to create whatever future you want.
Right. So you're experiencing that emptiness so that you can spring forth into creativity to
It's not
begin
empty.
something new.
It's not emptiness though, because it's not, there's nothing there. It's just, it's not real. It's not, if something is, you're not empty just because something isn't real, you know?
I guess a lot of people, sorry, my dog is barking. I think a lot of people think in terms of, is it emptiness or is it because it's a lack of
It's
being
nothing.
full? And yeah, so what is nothing? And I think that's just a really interesting thing to think about and to help people who aren't used to this kind of language.
All right.
It's for me, it's just it is like you said, the no thing. It is a nothing.
Yeah, no thing, because if you're experiencing emptiness, that means you're experiencing like you feel like there should be something there when in fact that's just habit.
Yeah. I think I got that from The Secret or from Abraham or something. They talked about the
Yeah.
no thing, where you to limit that something or the impact or the importance of something, you let it be a no thing so that you don't have the attachment to the outcome so much, or even to the emotional struggle. You just need to like overcome this no thing. You're bigger, badder, and better than that kind of a thing.
Yeah, he's big into Abraham Hicks.
Oh, right on. Very cool.
Happens when this occurs, and we've measured this enough times. When you're thinking about all those people and things and problems and conditions in your life, and your brain is aroused because of the hormones of stress, and you're in survival, and you're activating all those circuits in your brain is firing very incoherently, and your heart is out of rhythm, and you're drawing from this field and turning it into chemistry, and you're more matter and less energy, that there comes a moment where all of a sudden the person has to settle down and there's chaos going on within them. They're disconnecting from their environment, and it's the unknown. And they have to work in trusting in the unknown more than the known. And as they do this properly, and they get beyond themselves, and they're no longer thinking about those people, they're no longer thinking about their pain or their body. They're no longer putting their attention on objects or things or places and time. If they're no longer activating these circuits in the brain because they're no longer thinking about them, guess what happens? Their brain waves begin to change from beta brain waves, high beta aroused state, into alpha. And in alpha, all of a sudden, the inner world starts becoming more real than the outer world. The brain starts to imagine. And when you're out of the way and you're no longer thinking and feeling in the same way, and you're changing your brain waves, as you change your brain waves, you're falling right into the autonomic nervous system. And as your brain waves slow down, all of a sudden you're connecting to that autonomic nervous system that wants to just do one thing: create order and balance in your body. And it says, she's gone. She's out. And it steps in right into the neocortex. And when it steps right into the executive brain, all of a sudden it starts taking those different compartments of the brain that were no longer working together and starts to synchronize them. And all of a sudden you see the front of the brain talking to the back of the brain. We've seen this so many times. You see the right side of the brain talking to the left side of the brain. And all of a sudden you see the brain starting to move into a more holistic state. And what sinks in the brain links.
I got to go get my dogs. I'll be right back.
The person
Okay.
starts to feel connected to something greater. Are you with me still?
Yes.
And the moment that happens, we can predict it now. The neuroscientists that come and study our work, we say, she's going to pop. What do you mean? Just watch. She's going to pop. And all of a sudden, the brain starts working together. And as they're no longer thinking and they're no longer putting their attention on objects and matter and people and things, and they're all of a sudden putting their attention within them, and that brain starts functioning in a holistic way, it starts to synchronize, and those brain waves become highly coherent. And all of a sudden, when that happens, that energy moves right into the heart. And at that time, we've measured this, all of a sudden, that person starts to feel whole. When that brain, that right hemisphere and that left hemisphere come together and it starts to synchronize, the union of polarities, the union of duality, the union of separation or opposites is called wholeness, it's called love. And the moment those two hemispheres come together, that energy breaks right into the heart, and the person's heart goes into super coherence. And the field around their body can be up to 8 feet wide, 9 meters wide. Now they're more energy than matter, more wave than particle, and they feel connected to something greater, and they would never try to control an outcome. They would never try to force an outcome. They would never try to predict an outcome, because they understand that all they have to do is put their attention on possibility.
Yo, that is so true. It's like when I get into those higher states of meditation, there is literally no desire to control the outcome, because I know that it's going to work out in the way that it's supposed to work out. And it's already said, and I don't need to worry about anything. And I feel totally safe. And I when I'm in those higher states, I know that, and there is just no doubt in my mind, and there is no fear, and there's no anxiety. It's like, there's no sadness. There's just it is, Jennifer, I was just saying, he was saying that when you get into these higher brain waves, when you're meditating, you lose your desire to control the outcome.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, that's 100% true. There's just there's no, you're like, okay, well, I know this is all going to work out and this is fine. And all this stuff.
It's like being in a state of flow, and suddenly you really experience being a co-creator.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And their body's going to follow their mind to the unknown. And it's so amazing when this happens. You can see the person's heart go into coherence. You can see their brain go into coherence. And you can walk around while they're in the meditation. You can look at them like this, and there are tears of joy rolling down their face. They are being baptized by the divine. They are connected to the unified field. And the unified field is that quantum field that governs all the laws of nature. And when that occurs, they feel so whole, and so in love with life, and so in love with themselves, it's impossible to want. How can you want when you feel whole? You feel like you have everything. And that's the moment the magic happens over and over again. And there is a biological, neurological, genetic upgrade in that person when they connect to the unified field. And when you connect to the unified field, you will go from somebody to nobody, to everybody. From someone to no one, to everyone. From something to nothing, to everything. From somewhere to nowhere, to everywhere. And from some time to no time, to every time. Isn't that the quantum field? And when that occurs, you will feel so connected and so whole. When you're in that state, you no longer experience separation. You no longer are saying, I need that. You're saying, I already have it. I don't really need anything. And when you're in that state, guess what happens? You go from selfish, driven by the hormones of stress, to selfless. And all of a sudden, that heart of yours begins to open, and the innate capacity in you to give, to take care of, to nurture, to serve is who we really are. And all of a sudden, you create a community of people that are in love with each other, and they understand the way that we survive is in cooperation, no longer in separation. Are you with me still? So imagine this. Imagine. I always say that the thought that you think is the electrical charge in the quantum field, and how you feel is the magnetic charge in the quantum field. And how you think and how you feel is broadcasting information into the field. Are you with me still? Come on. So then if you have drawn from your visible field of energy and turning it into chemistry, and you're more matter and less energy, you're separate from that field, it's going to take a long time for your dreams to occur. Yes or no? Because we live in a realm where there's infinite space. Look, at space goes on forever, yes? And the way we experience time is as matter as we drag our body through space. Let's go get that. And if we drag our body through space, it's going to take time. So it's going to take time for you to get your dreams because you're matter trying to change matter. Yes or no? But if you're in a realm, and Einstein said, I didn't say this, Einstein said it, the field is the sole governing agency of the particle. He didn't say the particle is the sole governing agency of the particle. Matter doesn't affect matter. Energy affects matter. Are you with me still?
Yes.
So then if you were in the field, then you should be able to connect to that energy and begin to exert greater effects on matter. Yes or no? But doesn't that mean you can't take your body there, right? Can't take your face, can't take your weight, can't take your vegetarian diet, can't take leave that all there. You got to go as consciousness. You got to go as an awareness. Yes or no?
Yeah.
Now, we've measured this enough times. Imagine 750 people in a room in an advanced workshop. They have overcome themselves. The first day is all about overcoming themselves. And we know that the energy in the room usually goes up slightly because we measure it, or it goes down slightly, or it goes up a little bit. Because as people begin to break their emotional bonds with everyone and everything in their life, they're drawing energy from the field and they're building their own vital field of energy. Yes or no? Yeah. So then we should see the energy in the room drop. And we do because, hey, if you're using your best friend to reaffirm your addiction to suffering, hello, am I getting too close? And you're breaking that addiction, then you're gonna no longer be bound to that person energetically, and you're gonna start calling energy to build your own field.
Ooh, this is an interesting point.
All of those.
Go ahead.
This is, you know how, like, let me see if I can figure out how to frame this. When you grow, mature, expand, or you advance spiritually, or you advance in whatever way, and you had a group of friends that you were all really tight and close, and then you went Duke and you advance, and they all went, oh, you're different. And it's like the crabs in a bucket, and they're trying to pull you back down, you know? And then, and you were like, how come all of a sudden my friends have turned on me? And it's like, well, you kind of left them in the dust, you know? They no longer serve you, and they're making you out to be the bad guy because they're still stuck down here and all their bitterness and all their petty stuff. And you're up here going, I really don't feel like that. I need that crap anymore, but I still want to be your friends. But oh no. You've outgrown them.
Yeah, you can't, like, there's just sometimes when you can't make it work. This happened to me with a group of women I was friends with, like right before I left the left, and I was evolving. I was actually around the time I was doing all the Dr. Joe shit, right? And they were just staying stagnant. And I was like, woo!
Yeah, you're growing.
And it was like there was no way that was gonna work. And they made me out to be the bad guy, and they attacked me. They're like, why are you miserable like us? And I was like, well, I just don't really want to anymore. Sorry. But they tried to drag me down, and that didn't work. And that's when they tried to make me do an anti-racist workshop, and that didn't work out so well for them. But like, I've seen this. I mean, this has happened to me so many times with like people that I've met in politics and stuff that are not into the spiritual stuff at all. And it's kind of like, okay, like maybe I can mess around with you guys a little bit and maybe do an event or two with you, but like we can't be friends. Like, and this is not something I would actually say, but it's just never worked out with these groups because it's like we are not in the same place, like energetically. At all. No offense. It's me. It's not you. This, like, and then they go, you break up with everyone, and you turn everyone against you. I'm like, well, no, I just didn't want to be your friend. I'm very sorry. Like,
oh boy, yeah. Well, you realize you outgrow groups. They serve purposes, and there are friendships. I used to call them scaffolding people. That are there to build you up. You need scaffolding to create stability, so you can build the building inside and reach all the places you couldn't reach without the scaffolding. But that scaffolding comes down once the building is done. I've been scaffolding for other people. Other people have been scaffolding to me, but it is all about that progression and evolution. And if your friends don't come with you, some do, and
Yeah.
you're friends for life, years and years and years, and you're all, rowing the boat together, making the same kind of progress, or maybe you help each other up to the next level. That happens too. I have a couple friends like that are very dear to me, and yeah. I love that he's making this point, because don't feel bad if all of a sudden people turn on you. It's probably because you've outgrown them.
And not all friendships are meant to last forever. And don't
No.
let people hold you hostage
Oh,
by like
totally.
forcing you like against your will to remain in these relationships. It's like I don't hate you, I don't wish you ill, but it's not going to work anymore. We are breaking up now. Conservatives, we're breaking up.
Emotions, all that guilt, all that resentment is your creative energy that's tied up. Are you with me still? So there's no energy to create with. So then as you're drawing from this invisible field of energy and you're breaking the bonds with your past, present reality, the energy of the room will drop. We've measured it. But when people start to overcome themselves, all of a sudden they start to contribute to the field of energy in the room. Now, all of a sudden, their heart starts to become more coherent. How do we know that? We measured it. And I don't care how old you are. I don't care about your past. I don't care about your skin color, your gender. I don't care about any of that. When people finally open up this center and we teach them how to do it, and I just was in a long meeting with the Heart Math Institute that we partner with, and he keeps telling me, your results are supernatural. And I keep telling him, our students are supernatural.
Aww.
Imagine 750 people in the room. They're overcoming themselves. And they start activating this center, their center of oneness, their center of wholeness, their connection to the unified field. And as the heart starts getting coherent and it starts creating elevated emotions like gratitude, people are feeling the emotions of their future that begin to create holism and oneness.
Feeling the emotions of your
Not
future.
just doing it for a few seconds. We want our
Feeling the emotions of your future.
Now that gives me a clear, like, a more concrete framework for what's it like to imagine how you'll feel when or if or whatever. It's like, no, just feel the emotion of your future.
You should put that, write it on a sticky note and stick it on your computer or something.
I used to do that at my bathroom mirror in my condo. I had sticky notes all over it from like things that I needed to remind myself of every day. And often they had sayings like that would just remind me, or it was just something that would say, "Hi, beautiful," so that I go, oh. Sometimes I get mad at them. I'm like, oh, fuck you.
students to sustain it, to make it a skill, to regulate internal states independent of the conditions in their external environment. And our students can hold it for 45 minutes. Imagine, heart is in super coherence. When that heart starts to beat in rhythm and they're sustaining it, all of a sudden that field starts to expand. That energy starts to become very coherent, like dropping a pebble in water, after pebble, and it's creating this wave. And that's the magnetic field around the body. Are you with me still? A measurable magnetic field. This is science. And that energy is a frequency.
Science.
And all frequency
Trust the
carries
science.
information. So imagine then 750 people in the room opening their heart with an elevated emotion like the joy for existence, the love for life, the inspiration to be alive, care, kindness, compassion, activating this center, the union of duality, and they're putting out a measurable, coherent magnetic field. And if all that frequency carries information, they lay the thought, the intent on that energy. And what if you had 50 people in the front of the room wearing heart rate monitors? And they're sitting there and the rest of the room is sending the thought on that energy for the greatest good for those people sitting in the front of the room. You tell me then how majority of those people, how their hearts all go into coherence at the exact same time, on the exact same day, in the exact same meditation. You see, we are bound by that field of love and energy. Are you with me still? And that's what creates community. So then when you start to open your heart, every single person, that you are connected to, you begin to have an effect on, because you are entangled in energy. Are you with me still? So then, when that person starts to go into heart coherence, and they start producing a measurable coherent field, and their brain is in coherence, there's research that shows that the heart and the brain are communicating not just by nerve cells and nerve tissue, that they're interfering and creating a coherent electromagnetic signature. And the heart begins to act like an amplifier, and it begins to affect the brain, becoming more coherent. The brain sends a more coherent message to the heart, and all of a sudden the person is in a whole different state of being. And that state of being is what I call the natural state of being. That's who we really are when we're not separate, when we're not warring, when we're not deceiving, when we're not competing, when we're not prejudiced, when we're not living in fear and hostility. Creates separation. That's who we innately are. Are you with me still? So then, if your energy becomes coherent, and the person next to you's energy is coherent, and those two energy fields come together, and they start interacting, and they start interfering, they're going to create a bigger amplitude, a bigger wave. Yes or no? And the bigger the amplitude, the higher the energy. Yes or no? And then the higher the energy, then the more energy we should see in the room. Yes or no?
Yes.
And we've measured the energy in the room, and it always goes up in our events because the divine is present. And the person then becomes more energy than matter, more wave than particle. And now, we used to see, years ago, small changes in our events. You know, people having here and there some wonderful experiences. And now, it's happening in shorter and shorter amounts of time. And the higher the energy, the faster the frequency, the more connected they are to the unified field, the shorter amount of time it takes for it to occur. Are you with me still? And I can tell you without a doubt, I've looked at over 8,000 brain scans. I can tell you that when you analyze your life within some disturbing emotion that's created by the hormones of stress, you are going to make your brain worse. Because those emotions are the past, and you're thinking in the past. And if you're aroused by those stress hormones, you're going to drive it further and further into high beta. We've seen it over and over again. I can tell you without a doubt that your brain doesn't change your brain. I can tell you that the program doesn't change the program. The ego doesn't change the ego. The personality takes a long time to change the personality. It's only when you become pure consciousness. That's the moment you have an effect on matter. Are you with me still? And imagine then, we've seen this now, when a person truly connects to that unified field, and we can predict now almost when it's going to happen, if their brain is being measured. Would you agree then you should see higher energy in the brain? Yes or no? So then when a person, listen to this, is connecting to that unified field where all possibilities exist and they no longer feel separate from their dreams, they feel connected to their dreams, all they have to do is put their attention and their awareness on what already exists. Yes or no? Come on, that bounced off some of you. Hope the person next to you, please.
Pay attention.
I do like how he's a little spicy. He keeps people from falling asleep.
Possibilities exist, and you feel connected to everyone, everything, everywhere, every place, every time, then you don't have to try to create anything. All you have to do is pick it. Yes or no? Put your observation on it. Experience it. Become aware of it. So then imagine students, and I've labored for 3 years, almost 4 years, to have our students be able to sit in a meditation for an extended period of time and get beyond their bodies. And now our students, our advanced students, they can sit for as long as they want to sit. They know how to do it. They can change their brain waves in 4 seconds.
I used to
5
be able to
seconds, 9
meditate
seconds, 12 seconds.
forever.
It's not like, hey, I'm
Oh,
getting to the
wow.
quantum field before you.
Forever.
It's not like that.
I used to meditate.
It's more like a skill.
I used to meditate 2 hours a day as like a regular practice. And I would go to his workshops and you're doing so much more than that. But like I could go forever. I can't do it anymore, but I could get back into it if I wanted to.
That takes commitment. to do.
The biggest thing is the time, because it's
Yeah.
like once you get into doing it, it goes like that. Like you don't realize how, like, and you're not like falling asleep or anything, like you're doing stuff, but it is a time commitment, regardless of whether or not I think time is real. Time is real in the real world when people need me to answer a fucking email.
Yep.
Yes or no?
Emails exist
And
in time.
imagine we had
Yeah.
all these wonderful elders in our event in Tampa just a few months ago. And you can't tell me that you're too old to do this, because I saw them connect. And one lady in her late 70s said, I lost my spiritual virginity today.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
She connected. So imagine then, when the person truly connects to that field and they begin to tap into a greater frequency, it should be measurable in their brain, yes or no? And imagine we're capturing amplitudes of energy that have never been recorded in the history of neuroscience. And we can say, when that occurs, she can't make her brain do that. It's happening to her. And while that's going on, we're doing all this amazing research. The brain is in deep, deep, deep delta. That person, their body is sound asleep and their mind is turned way on. They are way in that autonomic nervous system. And when that occurs, they all of a sudden connect to a greater frequency. And all of a sudden we see these amplitudes of energy. It looks like a snowstorm on the EEG, on the brain scan. And I know that person is having a full-on sensory experience without their senses. They are having an inward experience that's greater than their trauma, their betrayal, their shock, their diagnosis, their fear. Whatever's happening between their ears is more real than anything that's happened in their external environment. Now think about this. If you're having a full-on sensory experience without your senses, what would happen right now if your senses were amplified by 30%? What if everything you were seeing, smelling, hearing, tasting, feeling, what if your senses were amplified by 25% right now? Would your awareness of reality be amplified by 25 or 30%? Yes or no?
yes.
And if your awareness is amplified, then your consciousness is amplified. Yes or no? And you can't have consciousness without energy. They're married. So the energy of the brain goes up. And then the next thing you know, the inward experience rewires the brain in an instant. And it sends a new emotional signal, but it's not emotional. Emotions like fear and guilt and shame, they're slow energy. It's an elevated energy. It's not emotional, it's energetic. They're getting an electrical charge in their body. And they'll say, I was baptized in light. Light filled my entire body. And that is the moment they're getting a new emotional signal to the body. And the receptor sites on the outside of the cells are 100 times more sensitive to frequency and to energy than they are to chemistry. And in 1 second, that person is transformed. And that's what's happening now in our work. Are you with me still?
Yes, Dr. Joe.
I don't really want to argue quantum superimposition any longer. I don't want to talk about theory any longer, because my heroes, the people that I want to be with, are people just like you. That I don't care about keynote lectures or conferences. I'm bored with them. I've outgrew them. I want to be with doers. Imagine we were in Italy just a few months ago running an advanced workshop. I have a whole new team of neuroscientists that we're working with. And I was trying to get to these guys. They're physicians and researchers, and I'm trying to get to them to show them some of the crazy stuff, to prepare them. Like, get ready, this is going to get wild. And they're busy doing all their brain mapping and get everything organized, and we're going to meet for lunch, and I get to lunch early, and then I have to go, and then I'm leaving, and they're coming in. In 3 days, we're doing this. I'm going to get to you guys. I'm going to get to you guys. And then after like 3 days, I'm like, nothing like an experience to cause a long-term memory. I thought, the hell with it. Let them just have the experience, you know. So second day, Friday afternoon. I'm introducing a new meditation, and we have a room of 600 plus people, and I'm in the
Wow.
stage leading the meditation, and all
Yeah,
of a sudden
big rooms.
I see all
Damn.
this commotion going in the back there, and they're screaming and yelling, and my staff comes up, you better get back there, you know. So I go out the back here, and I go along the hallway, and I come in the back, and this is what they're saying, okay? There's a woman sitting in the middle of this meditation, and she's lit up. And when I mean lit up, she's having an experience. And the brain scientists are watching the screen, and they're saying she's having a massive seizure. Now, they've never seen anything like this before. Here's the humor in the situation. The woman who's sitting in the meditation is a physician from London. Now, you with me? And she is connecting to the unified field, and she's getting an upgrade. And she is on the fringe of this incredible, loving intelligence, this intelligent love, and it begins to consume her, because that's what the quantum field is. It's intelligent love. And she made up her mind. This is what she said before she started that discipline. She said, I have to prove to myself that this is possible, so I'm going to do it for everybody in this room. I'm not going to do it for me. I'm going to do it for everybody in this room. I got to get beyond my analytical mind because I have very, very rigid training. You with me? So here she goes. She gives it everything she has. She surrenders. She trusts in the unknown. She becomes nobody, no one, no thing, nowhere, and no time. And then I say, you're in that infinite field of information. Just because you can't see something, it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Put your awareness on that field. Pay attention to it. Surrender to it. Feel it. Experience it moment after moment and become more aware of it. So then if you put your awareness on your nose, it exists, yes? Yes. But if you don't have your awareness on it, it doesn't exist. Yes or no? Yes. Come on. Yes. So then if you don't have any awareness on the quantum field, it doesn't exist for you. Yes or no? Until you put your awareness on it. So I'm asking them to unfold deeper into the unified field and experience it. Put your awareness on it moment after moment, and certain people start to connect to that energy, that coherent energy. And all of a sudden, in 1 second, her entire brain goes into gamma. Not just regular gamma, which is super consciousness. We're talking about lots of high energy gamma. It looks like, you know, crazy stuff, and the scientists are yelling back there, and I come back and they're going, she's having a seizure, she's having a seizure. I go like this, shh, 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 shh. Put my hand on her, I go, quiet. And she's back there listening to them say, she's having a seizure. Now, she's a physician, and she's saying, oh, this is not a seizure. She's not saying that. She has to decide, do I listen to that or do I keep going? And she just said, I'm going. And so she surrenders into this experience, and she's sustaining this high level of gamma, coherent gamma, super consciousness. All of her awareness is on her inner world. In other words, she is aroused. Her sympathetic nervous system has switched on, and instead of switching on like being chased by a predator, instead of that energy be drawn from the field, the sympathetic nervous system is switching on, and it's taking all that energy stored in the body and it's driving it up to the brain. And when it goes on, all of a sudden the brain goes into gamma, and she's aroused from the inner experience. Are you with me? But it's not from a predator or from a danger. It's from the divine. Mm-hmm. And now she is in gamma. So I say to the scientist, shut up, let her have the experience, don't bother her, and get back here with that brain scan afterwards. So we have the break, they come back there, and they're all sweating, and they're freaked out, and oh my God, yeah. So they show me this sustained gamma. And then, you know, my whole theory about the mystical is that energy has to reach the pineal gland. When the pineal gland gets activated, melatonin all of a sudden starts to produce derivatives, metabolites that create the mystical experience. Chemicals that create a phospholuminescent energy in the brain, create hallucinations or vivid imagery, suppress the drives of the body, create antioxidants for healing, release chemicals like Valium that sedate the analytical mind. And the person's going to go mystical. They're going to go dimensional. And she went dimensional. And when we put the three-dimensional imagery, the hologram of the brain, The entire pineal gland was on fire. It was on fire. I knew in that moment that what we were doing was correct. So we had the scientists come up on the stage. You know, there's nothing like a good story. We bring the doctor up there. We show the brain scans. The scientists are like little kids, goofy and laughing. Ooh, I can't believe it. This is crazy stuff. It's not a seizure. You know, and I mean, I spend hours with these people every week and go to meetings, and they're yelling at each other. This can't be. I'm not, it can be. Well, it's not normal. I know it's not normal. You got to think out of the box. So she tells the story of how the divine connected to her and said, hey, in imagery and profound information, I've always been with you. Welcome. And she was laughing and crying at the same time. And now this is not like a dream or visualizing. You understand this is a download. Yes? And with that information comes energy, because you can't separate the two. She's getting a very profound message. She's on the stage sobbing, telling the story. And then the event ends in Italy. And we all fly back to Seattle. And when I land in Seattle, one of the researchers is a physician. She's a brilliant lady. And she sends me a picture of this woman who's the physician from London. And she had eczema from the time she was 3 months old. Now, she's a doctor now, right? She did the diet, she did the cortisol, she did all the creams, she did all the things, took all the Benadryls, and of course, all of that was matter trying to change matter, yes or no? And so she got a little improvement, and kept it at bay. So they sent me the picture of her arm with eczema covered all over her arm, and then 2 hands like this, and eczema all over her hands. Monday morning, they send me the next picture of her arm, and there's no eczema on her arms.
I have had that experience.
None.
Yeah.
And no eczema except a little bit on the.
You meditated and got rid of your eczema?
I did. Yeah, I developed
That's
dyshydrotic
crazy.
eczema, which I didn't know I had. It triggers genetic. He's talking about it triggers your genetics, or you trigger a gene, or blah blah blah. Sometimes going through your Reiki mastery will trigger something in your body.
Oh.
And so that's what happened. And they call it a healing crisis, which means now you've got your big challenge. It's sort of like mastering your mastery. And I went through dermatologist stuff. I went through all the things and all the things he's talking about. And I had it from basically my eyes to my toes. It was everywhere. And I had like spongoria, which it looks like a sponge on your hands and feet.
Yeah.
And just under the skin. So it was just miserable. So I thought, wait a minute, this is retarded. Well, I just learned how to move energy to heal. How am I not applying this to myself? So I started doing deep meditations every single night before I went to bed, and I pushed it out of my body, and it healed up with no cream, no medication, no diet. I mean, I tried, like I said, the diet, the cream, the everything, and I meditated it gone. Within a couple of weeks, it healed up.
It's real, man. It's real. If you can force yourself to do it and you get yourself into the headspace, it absolutely can work. 100%.
I've never had an outbreak like that since.
So then,
crazy.
If you connect to that unified field of oneness and wholeness, then wholeness and oneness should be reflected in your biology, yes or no? And would you agree, the more you surrender and get out of the way and get beyond your body and your face and your skin color and your culture and your problems and your past and your future, and you trust in that unknown, the deeper you go into it, the faster the frequency, the shorter amount of time it should take to produce effects in your life. Yes or no? Yes. And people who do this work always say the same thing. It came out of nowhere. And I always say to them, that's because you created it in nowhere. Something appeared out of nothing. That's because you created it from nothing.
That is awesome.
Real.
It happened in no time. I know. You created it in no time.
Mm-hmm.
Yes or no? So then, the divine in you, in closing, has always been present with you. Yes or no? Yes. It's an omnipresent intelligence that's loving you into life. Yes? And so there's your outer environment, and if you want to hide the divine anywhere really well in a human being, you put it within them, because they'll look everywhere else for it. Yes? So it's a presence, yes or no? And it's standing here and it's waiting. And you know when someone's present in your life with you because they're paying attention to you, yes or no? And you know when they're not present with you because they're not paying attention to you, yes or no?
Yeah.
So imagine this presence that's waiting for you to do your meditation, and you go like this, you're doing your meditation like that. I gotta meditate today. It's going like, are you kidding me? Oh my God, I don't know if I can do. That's what you're bringing to it. And then while it's standing there waiting, you're thinking, I gotta take care of that person. I gotta check that email. I gotta do this thing. And all your attention is on your outer world, and it's going, hello, I'm over here. And then would you agree that the moment you become nobody, no one, no thing, nowhere, and no time, you're taking your attention off somebody, someone, something, someplace, sometime, and you're becoming nobody? Now you're looking at it, yes or no? And you walk through that eye of the needle. Once you get through it, then there's more. And if you can unfold deeper into the unified field, and as you move closer towards it, would you agree then you'll experience greater degrees of wholeness and oneness and less separation? That means you won't have to try to create your dreams. All you have to do is become aware that they already exist and experience them, yes or no? So then the closer you get to it, the shorter amount of time it should appear in your life. Are you with me still? Come on. And what if you were to connect with it, truly connect with it? Would you agree then you will become more willful because it has an amazing will? Come on. You become more loving. It's a loving intelligence. Yes or no? You become more giving. It's a giver of life. Yes or no? You become more forgiving. It's forgiven you millions of times. Yes or no? You become more conscious. It's a consciousness. Yes or no? You become more mindful. It has an infinite mind. Its nature will become your nature. Its mind will become your mind. And people then in your life will say, something's up with him.
It's true.
He must have changed his medication today. Because as Dawson said, your nervous system is the greatest pharmacist in the world. And that common people just like you are doing the uncommon. And this day-to-day is to inspire you to begin to practice it in your life and to draw with a community of people that are actually doing it, and that they carve out a little time out of their busy day to present themselves to the world as a greater ideal. And if you can sustain and maintain a modified state of mind and body your entire day and keep your energy up, get ready, because something unusual is going to happen in your life. It's the law. And I know it from experience, and I've witnessed it too many times. And it will come in a way that you least expect.
Yeah,
Why?
real.
Because if you can expect it, it's nothing new. If you can predict it, it's more of the same.
Ah!
It's got to be a surprise. It's got to rock.
Jennifer, do you hear this? You need to listen to this. You need to listen to this.
If you
Pay
expect-
attention.
Okay.
Experience it, and I've witnessed it too many times. And it will come in a way that you least expect. Why? Because if you can expect it, it's nothing new. If you can predict it, it's more of the same. It's got to be a surprise. It's got to rock your world.
Is this about
It's
what we were
gotta
talking
catch
about
you off
earlier?
guard, and it has to leave no doubt that what you did inside of you produced some effect outside of you.
Mm-hmm.
When you can correlate the changes you made inside of you with the effect you produced outside of you, you're going to pay attention to what you did, and you're going to do it again. And that's when we go from being a victim to being a creator. Thanks for listening.
Oh my God.
That is one lecture of Dr. Joe Dispenza.
Oh my God. Okay.
And he is, yeah. He, like, listen, I haven't had a Dr. Joe fix in a long time, and now I'm like, I'm going to go back and do another advanced workshop, and I want to listen to all the Dr. Joe meditations again, and I got to get back into Dr. Like, honestly, like, he is so fucking good at what he does, and I understand it's all NLP, and I understand all that stuff, but like, he is so good at teaching this stuff and just getting you into the mindset where you're like, yeah, I can do anything.
Yeah. Yeah. It's he's very motivational. He's gifted for sure in that way. Whew. What a note to end on, because I am in a state of panic and fear right now. So
if you can expect it, then you're not actually creating it.
Oh my God. Yeah.
So.
Well, when I manifested this house, it was out of the blue. It like he was saying, you know, well, it just came out of nowhere because you created it from nowhere, you know, like that kind of thing. And that's how this house was. And if what I think is happening, that's how the next house is too.
Yeah. I mean, isn't that the way everything is? It's like we get
All
a
the good
significant
stuff.
person we get a significant person in our life. Where the fuck did you come from?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know? Anyway, I think I'm gonna start listening to Dr. Joe again. I'm really happy that we did this tonight. That I was a little bit like, should we go back and do this? Because I wasn't quite sure. I was like, I did Dr. Joe a long time ago, and maybe it's not so good. But I'm like, no, and I actually think I may have been in the room at that presentation.
Oh, really?
I think that might have actually been one of the ones that I was actually in the room at. Just because like some because I've been to his workshops, he doesn't say the same speech every time. And it's
Mhm.
just like, but a lot of that was extremely familiar to me. I'm like, I remember that story. I remember that. I remember that. I remember the doctor's story with the eczema and the seizure. I remember that. So I was like, was this one of the ones I was actually at? I don't know. Maybe.
Well, if he's teaching like the same stuff, he'll probably have the same like footnotes, and then some of the words and verbiage will change in the moment. But yeah, he's got that speech memorized for sure. He's got it down.
Well,
So-
but no, but this is what I'm saying. Like he changes it every time. Like I know he does. 'Cause
Oh.
I've been to so many of his things that like
Oh, I see what
he
you're saying.
really does change. But of course, like you always, it's kind of like with me teaching socialism, right? It's like I have kind of like bank of information, but I might change how I teach it depending on which one. So I
Yeah.
don't know. Maybe I was there. Maybe I wasn't. Maybe I just watched that on YouTube back in the day when I was doing this, and that's why I remember it. But I don't remember watching it on YouTube. I don't know.
I've seen part of it before. I saw a snip of it before, but not the whole thing.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think this was a good night. Jennifer, do you have any other announcements or anything before we conclude?
Indeed, I do, Karlyn, because we have movie night coming up Sunday, which I'm may last minute cancel. I don't know yet.
Uh-oh.
We are going to
Canceling movie night. If you cancel movie night, I might have to step in and do Karlyn's mystery movie night.
Oh God. And I won't even be able to supervise from afar because I won't be here. I don't know yet. It's going to depend. I am doing a sort of unscripted trip to Knoxville on Friday, and I'm coming back Sunday, but I don't know what time. I'm actually going to be buying my plane tickets after we're done here tonight. So I'm not sure what time. If I get home in time to do movie night, we will be watching The Birdcage, which is, of course, Mama Fire's birthday. But here's the thing. I may actually just go ahead and postpone it because Mama Fire and Papa Fire are coming out there, but they're driving. So they'll be on the road and she won't be able to watch her birthday movie. So I may just
even postpone it anyway.
I may just do that. Her birthday is this Thursday. So actually in 2 days. So we may just have to do a belated birthday for her on July 6th, I think it is. So
we'll find something to watch. It'll be fine. Don't worry. I'll find something.
Oh my God. So
it'll be fun. You know what we should watch? Wasn't there some sort of like horror summer camp movie about like non-binary summer camp or something like that?
Oh,
that's
yeah.
what we should watch with like Kevin Bacon, I think.
Yeah, it was Kevin Bacon. I I have not watched that, but I heard it was you'll get out of it what you want. I mean, it's not great, but it's like, yeah.
I've heard that too. Well, we'll see. It'll all work out just as it should. We will ask the universe to manifest us exactly the right movie.
So I may be postponing movie night. If I'm able to be there, though, I might pick one from my July movies, but I need to see what plane tickets I get. So that's going to determine things. And then, of course, our master MacB of Monday movie night is going to be doing The Deer Hunter.
Oh, so nothing intense and controversial.
Nope. Totally mellow evening. Yes.
Yeah, it'll be fine. All right. Well, cool. Well, we will look forward to MacB's Monday movie night for The Deer Hunter, and we'll figure out what's going on for movie night this Sunday, and we will let you guys know.
We'll keep you posted in the movie night message board, which is of course in Miss Karlyn's. I think I go this way in your Discords,
the supporter Discord.
I think actually there's a couple people that need approval in there too. I was looking earlier.
Oh, okay. I'll go ahead and approve them. I know I sent out the link. I've really been encouraged. We actually did spy stream up until Mac's movie night yesterday, and so I think like having a stream up until Mac's movie night actually might be the best way to get people to go to Mac's movie night.
Yeah.
Honestly, which I think would be great. I mean, we've got to figure out what's going to go on with the community Zoom, but we're spy streaming a lot, so it's working out for the moment. So we'll figure it out.
Right on. All right, you guys. Well, love you lots.
All right, guys. Have a good one, guys. Bye.